Welcome, everyone, to another wake, the Requiem to Doctor Who. Remember hashtag RIP Doctor Who. I've been wanting to do one of these again for a long time. We did a Fury of the Whovians live stream a few months back, right after the mess that was the Timeless Children, and it hasn't gotten better since then. And surprisingly enough, neither is Doctor Who. It's still dead, and they have been constantly pissing on the corpse for over the last few months. And if it wasn't for, the COOF, global pandemic, and, all the other rioting and looting and stuff, I think we would actually have like a serious Last Jedi situation with this. I think people have just moved on, but there's some of us who are just hanging on because we're pissed.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it, with you guys and everyone in the chat. You're part of this too. This is your safe space to come and talk about shit on Doctor Who. So, hey, it's a public service. I'm happy to provide it. Let's go around the horn. We've got some great people with us, and some more might be jumping in. We'll start with Dan Hadley from the Space Book. How are you, my friend?
Oh, fabulous. The end of another year with hardly any actual Doctor Who on screen to bother us and spoil our mood. So yes, it's been all clear since Easter, Gary, all clear, but it's now starting to bubble up, and I'm seeing that face, that bloody face, that scowl, that scrunch face starting to come out of the screen at me more and more regularly. More articles from Hugh Fullerton and people like that, and I just need the support network of you guys all around me.
Should never have asked Dan to talk.
Let's do 5 minutes of stand-up.
Yeah, we all stand. I can run this like a meeting. I got to get 12 steps together real quick. My name's Gary. I used to love Doctor Who, and these are my feelings about it. But I'm glad you're here, and I know you guys have been on top of it. I cover other things once in a while too, so you can catch me up to what's gone on over like the last week or so. And we have the rabbi from another planet.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
Hello. Thank you for having us. I'm feeling one or two warm splatterings of pleasure being on your channel. Caring.
Dear, oh dear.
How is everybody?
We have a 5 minutes of this stream will be demonetized. 5 minutes.
Oh, I don't care. Oh, considering what we're going to share in a little bit, it'll be demonetized with pride, because we have some new Doctor Who products we'd like to share with you all. And that's from Svi. He's the dirtiest rabbi out there.
I'm a very, very dirty rabbi, and I really enjoy being a dirty rabbi.
Hey, by the way, since you're here, before we get started, we do this on Friday Night Tights, but since we're with a rabbi, do you denounce white supremacy as much as we do?
I guess so. Who is on board for white supremacy? I
denounce all supremacy.
Yes. Listen,
apart from the born supremacy,
whatever. If you want to be supreme or not so, whatever you want, baby. I don't really care. It's whatever you want. I don't care.
All supremacy except the Supreme Dalek.
Yes.
No. Yes. No.
Yes. No. Hi, Noel. How on the TARDIS, my friend?
Hey, Gary. No, thanks for having me on again. Pleasure. And sorry again. On Twitter, I tag people in posts, and I've been kind of overdoing it a little bit lately, and Az wasn't too happy, so I just want to apologize to him publicly in front of everybody here. What happened again, pal? I'm sorry. Can you forgive me?
No, this isn't remotely awkward at all. No. The private apology that you sent me on Twitter was fine,
All right, but I wanted to do
the public one is kind of like, oh my god.
I just want to do it publicly.
But contrary to how young I do look, I am over the age of 21, and I'm actually able to make my own decisions on what I retweet and etc. So yeah.
You are over 21? I didn't know.
Believe it or not. Believe it or not.
I thought you were still a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, just mentally.
Well, thanks for having me on, pleasure. Been fun times in the Doctor Who fandom. But we'll get more into that later on. But thanks, pleasure.
Hey, thanks for coming on, and of course we have Az again. It's been so long since we last spoke.
It's been literally hours since we spoke. 3 times this week as well, Gary. People will
Oh yeah, I owe you big time, dude.
No, actually, no, do you? Does he? This guy comes on to bi-weekly bloody BBCs with us, so it's all good. But it's all good. Yeah, thank you for having us. It's this is going to be a nice little. What do they call them? Sessions. Something session. Struggle session.
Session.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice little struggle session.
Well, after the last one, I felt great, so we should feel great after this one.
But tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the first trailer of Revolution of the Revolution. They have just evolution and boovolutions and devolutions and wovolutions of Daleks. So.
It's going to be a pile of crap.
Yeah, next year's Christmas special will be menstruation of the Daleks. So
I think it's this year by the look of the design.
Yeah, it really is.
Titty augmentation of the Daleks.
Oh, for God's sake.
And hey, we've got one of the Modrotics in here.
Hello.
Problem being, what's up? Welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and also an honor to be a Modrotic. So thanks for that. And everyone's so great amongst our blue renters, especially Chris and Eric. You guys, and I would like not to apologize for setting up a religion for Az, because I do believe he deserves representation here on Earth. So Asda ha to our mighty golden Asda, and smart praise be to him. And
I'm not going to get annoyed about being a deity, am I? Come on.
Well, some people are funny about that.
I gotta take the ego trip so I can get them.
Yeah, you got to do this when you start all your live streams.
Yeah.
I don't know.
First it'll be a religion, then it'll be a cult, and then it'll turn into something completely different.
This is the proof. This is the proof of Az's.
I think I've been called a cult. I went past a couple of people and they said, I think it was cult anyways. One of something like that.
But yeah, I mean, look, to prove his divinity. I mean, he was on the Rise of the Purple Valkyries. Yeah, and there's a snort record, and he smashed my snort record. I had 21 snorts, and Az got 47. 47.
Yeah, well, that was
like a competition?
Az is funnier than you.
I made snorts the 40. I think it's 48 actually. Without I'm not trying to correct you.
Yeah, she's been on my show too.
I've got 2 more after the stream, but we're not going to count those. So.
Yeah, I got like 50 of those off camera.
Yeah,
you got about 20,000 more.
Yeah. It's going to go to the scrotum, or whatever it is, SCOTUS. Yeah, that's it.
Nothing like
Wouldn't it be weird if they get those mixed up? Yeah, I'm going to take it straight to the scrotum.
Or bring a new meaning to a bush and
for God's sake, shut up now.
What's up, Ian?
Hey, what's happening? I'm doing all right. Nice to see everybody here. In fact, there's only 4 of us that we're not ashamed to show our faces. People like Noel, problem being hiding. I don't know why.
I'm regenerating.
Somebody's gone.
Chibnall's got it.
He's about to make the best point he's ever made in his career, and he's gone. Like that.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, I almost didn't show. I had, sometimes you have to, when you show your face, you have to shower, do your hair.
All right.
Sometimes I'm doing live streams. Oh yeah, the picture isn't up. I'm in my Doctor Who pajamas, on the beard facing this way. Yeah, so it's not a pretty picture.
Yeah, that is the reason I keep myself in this pristine condition. All right, this is me after I've worked out.
Do you blow dry your beard?
A fine figure of a man.
I blow dry my beard. You gotta blow dry the beard. It keeps it very consistent, silky smooth. So we have Balls Trek. What's up, man?
Hello. I don't have a face. I'm a logo. And let me take this opportunity to let people know, no, I'm not dead, even though I disappeared for the 3rd time this year, I believe I'm 6 weeks into my disappearance. I've been working insane hours, but apparently everything has gone to absolute hell
Again.
in every way possible since I left. I haven't been online since October, so just picture what's happened since then. And this is Fury of the Whovians cast, but I am no longer a Doctor Who fan, nor do I consider myself a Whovian. After a decade, over a decade of being one of the main Doctor Who YouTubers, I have had enough. And we'll get into the reasons for that. A lot of it has to do with the fandom. But for me, the final straw was Big Finish, which we can go into. But if you think the TV series is woke, it's nothing compared to what's going on over there. So I am still making videos on Doctor Who, or I will be when I come back, possibly next weekend, maybe the weekend after that, with an angrier than usual video. I'm still going to cover Doctor Who, but I'm just here to make fun of it. After almost 40 years of being a Doctor Who fan, I am done with it. I'm going to get Gary demonetized. The show and everyone involved with it at every level can go fuck themselves. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Oh, dear.
Excellent. I don't care about monetization. This is about feelings. Feelings. They say
you mean like discovery? Feelings.
Bottom line is, I'm still heartbroken, right? I am. And people can laugh at that. This show meant a lot to me. After the time this children's stream, I saw Gary's face when he did his stream that night. It was one of shock. You could see that he was devastated. On my stream, I broke down on my stream during the panel. And everybody was devastated. I still haven't recovered from this. And Chris Chibnall looks like he's going to double down again. This guy doesn't care about our feelings. He doesn't care about the show. So Bolstrek is right. Why should we care anymore? Let them have it. It won't last long. It's already on its last legs anyway. It'll only last another year under this regime, and then it'll be gone. It'll disappear. It'll limp to the 60th if it's lucky. Then after that, I don't see Doctor Who after the 60th, and that's sad.
It's really sad.
Our birthday was this week, and our legacy is being shit down the toilet by this man.
For that, and to celebrate the 57 glorious years of Doctor Who, what did they do? They put the most divisive, the least watched episode in New Who history, the timeless rubbish. And I mean, even on the Twitter comments, I was reading through them all, and the ratio was, told you everything you needed to know. It was like, not with two shitty sticks. I'm not watching this. No way. Read the room. All that kind of stuff, and they just ignored it.
It'll be one thing if it was working out, right? If it was popular and people liked it, I'll be like, okay, time to move on. But look, for me, Timeless Children and the Christian or era in general hasn't really bothered me because I just don't think of it as Doctor Who. It's just so incredibly removed in in very, very important ways. So when they could do absolutely anything right now, they could ship Yaz and the Doctor in the TARDIS, whatever they want. None of it bothers me. Now I want them to do stuff that makes it as insane. Like I want them to get rid of it because
I want Yaz and the Doctor together. I want them together. I want her over the fucking console of the TARDIS. No, fisting away. I want it all. I want it all in season 13. Captain Jack to be taking notes,
joining in.
Well, listen,
he's going to be like, come on, Jack. Come on, Jack, you're pansexual. Get in here. Get in here, mate.
Joke about it.
Let's just show everyone what a fucking joke this series is now. It's got nothing to do with fun. It's got nothing to do with sci-fi. It's got nothing to do with exploration and wonder. This is all got to do with box ticking. It's all got to do with let us educate you. That's what it's all going to devolve into, has devolved into. Fuck it. I want it all. I want every single bit of woke shite that you can throw. I want you to embarrass yourself as much as you possibly can.
Is the right word to use?
The actress that played Polly, Gary, came out and actually said in a recent interview that the future of the Doctor could be transgender because the show evolves all the time.
Absolutely. I was having a little chat with my insider, and we joke about this stuff. And what's funny is, when I did my rumor, it like people were suspecting that. Like it wasn't a secret around the forums and forums. I'm sounding old, but Reddit, and people were speculating that they would do something like they did with the Timeless Children. So and I mentioned that in my video. It's like these are because there's only 5 woke stories you can tell. And I know you're asking if woke is the right word. I think it's more of we're using that in a more broader sense, but specifically Doctor Who is intersectional feminism. That's and identity politics. So it's intersectional.
I think woke sounds better than bigoted wankers.
Even though it's more true and honest.
Because that's what they actually are. They just use virtue as their disguise.
Exactly. But it's a shield to criticism.
They're just bigots. They're complete bigots.
It's a shield to criticism, and being one of these so-called minority groups, right? I feel tokenized. I mean, as a gay man, they tend to represent us by being, oh hi, I'm gay. This is my boyfriend. Bam, you're dead. And it's just pointless and pathetic just to get it.
But you are there to be tokenized. That's your role.
Exactly. And it's
your role is to shush. Your role is to clap at the screen and say, "Look at me! I'm on the screen as a gay man. Isn't that amazing?" Clap,
clap, clap. Guy represents me. Awesome. I feel so represented by that dead guy who didn't give me his name.
Man's bum. We must be the same. We must be identical. It's about, they have no idea that it doesn't matter your orientation, your color, your religion, it's about who you are as a person. And that's what's been destroyed from Doctor Who is the humanity of the show.
Well, as a gay man, and as most of you here are, I'm sure, are straight men, I think like you, I want to see good characters, good stories. I don't care about representation. I want to see something that entertains me, that keeps me enthralled, that keeps me wanting to come back and believing that I'm on a fun adventure in space and time. That's it. That's all I want. Same as everyone else.
The name of the that gay astronaut and his
I don't even remember.
Gay men they were the least convincing gay men I've ever seen. They were so incredibly straight.
Well, I can tell you where a lot of this is coming from. Or my theory. Having listened to these wankers that run Doctor Who on TV and the company formerly known as Big Finish, now known as Complete and Utter Shit, this is where it's coming from. So the UK has always been a class society, not so much over here on this side of the pond, but there's a lot of projection going on because if you look at people behind the show, those that call the shots, those that called the shots at the company formerly known as Big Finish, now known as Complete and Utter Shit, they're all privileged, straight white males, and they are pushing.
Saying that for years.
And I don't even think they're conscious of it, but they think that we all have the same privilege that they do. And the rest of society has to atone for their privilege while they are not willing to give up anything.
It is a white middle class fixation.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
But it's upper class. Regular people don't talk like
upper
this.
Middle class.
Yeah, upper middle class. But here's the thing:
the hyacinth bouquet types.
But here's the thing: here's why they do it. Because I won't mention names, but you can look at anybody behind current Doctor Who and the company formerly known as Big Finish, now known as Complete and Utter Shit. I don't think they've had a lot of challenges in life. They've spent decades doing what they love, writing for Doctor Who, which is something that we would all kill for.
Yeah.
So they've had very blessed lives. You listen to them in extras and things like that. They all talk about their experiences in drama school. So it must be nice to be privileged enough to go to school and take bullshit and probably have mommy and daddy pay for it while everybody else is trying to do something useful with society. So they have the privilege. They want to lecture down to the rest of us, and normal people, we don't have privilege. If you're a straight white male, you actually have the opposite of privilege, especially in the UK, which now seems to be so much worse than Canada and the US, although the US may be headed down that path. But this is what it is. The upper class wants to lecture to the rest of us. They want to hold down the plebs, the dregs of society, the peasants, which is us.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's where this is coming from. These people are, to use a British term, are wankers. They are complete and utter scum. They are fucking privileged. Sorry, demonetized again. Fucking privileged pieces of shit. I'm fucking sick of hearing of them. And even you can see this in the fandom as well. Because I've left fandom. I want nothing to do with these people. But the fandom that is left, those that lecture to the rest of us, which are now mainly kids. A lot of these kids, if you actually look at their Twitter profiles, they don't seem to be too hard up either. So it's the elite lecturing down to the rest of us.
Yeah.
And this is what we've seen in everything. We've seen it in Star Wars. We've seen it in Star Trek. We don't have privilege. You have the privilege. And you've used that privilege to destroy everything. And once again, as I said at the beginning, you can all go fuck yourselves, because I'm done with Doctor Who and many other franchises. I am now just here to make fun and laugh and swear at you. And yes, the GOAT will do the introduction to my return video.
Here's the thing, though. It's not just got into our pop culture, though. It's getting into our society as well. Society as a whole has completely gone backwards. I mean, we're thinking in terms of the left are telling us, like, to, you know, we should go easy on pedophiles. They're making movies like Cuties and all of these movies like Unpregnant or whatever it is. Like, they're pushing these kind of things in their TV shows as well. And I'm not comfortable with that, to be quite honest with you. We shouldn't be going backwards as a society, and their TV shows are supposed... I think the main thing that people have forgotten is that TV is there to entertain. And that's all it's always been there for, right? They've missed the point of what their job is. All of these actors and actresses that are cast are not cast because they're the best person for the job. They're cast because of either their personal political beliefs or whatever agenda they want to ram down their throats. Look at Jodie Whittaker now, only recently, coming out now saying that she was raised gender neutral. Go and kiss me.
It's the total opposite to what she said herself just a couple of years earlier as well.
Can I ask a question? How can you be both? I will anyway. How can you be both gender neutral and a feminist? Surely that's not very neutral to take a stance. If you're a feminist, you can't be neutral.
They're all doing it now because another actor has come out to say that he was raised gender neutral. See, this is the new
Game of Thrones guy.
This is the new thing they're all hopping on because they want to stay relevant. She knows that after Doctor Who, her career is in the shitter. So she's...
I don't think she knows anything. I don't think she gets it. You know how she plays Doctor Who like a moron, which is one of the weird things. Let's cast her as Doctor Who, and then they write and she plays it like a moron. I don't think she's acting much. I think she's a dummy. Okay, how can you fail to this extent, to this insane extent, and be like, I'm the best as ever? Like, I don't understand. How do you do that? By being a moron.
She didn't do the work. I mean, yeah, you're right. She's dumb and she exposed herself for being dumb by not doing the work necessary for the show. You represented. It was a big deal to be the first female doctor, and you had all this weight on your shoulders with the intersectional feminists. All 10 of them are really rooting for you. If she would have done the work, that would have showed she was actually down with the cause. Not.
We don't get from this era. Chibnall and Whittaker don't seem interested. They've never engaged the fans in Series 11.
No.
They've been cold and distant. How are we supposed to like them when they're not putting themselves out there for us to actually get to know them?
Because they're not likable. They know that. They've been hiding her from the beginning. That's why she didn't go around and go to cons. And I've told the story a million times before. Capaldi, however you felt about the guy, the dude represented Doctor Who better than anyone.
He still does. I've told my story many times when I had the honor of meeting him about a year and a half ago. Just, you could tell this was somebody who genuinely loved the fans, genuinely loved the show. I was in line. I got to watch him interact with fans for 3 hours, and it was awesome. And
do you know what? Just going back to what Ballstrick was saying about the middle class and the upper class, I remember I was working for Top of the Pops. This is a long time ago, and it was in the same studio as EastEnders. and I used to eat with the actors from EastEnders, and every one of those actors were either middle class or upper class, playing working class in EastEnders.
Right.
The only true working class actor in EastEnders is Danny Dyer.
Because they don't want.
He's related to royalty. Even he's related to the royal family.
Well, because the middle class or us plebs. We're not suitable. Well, I wouldn't be suitable. I'd suck. But those that actually do have the talent, I'm like, no, you're not one of us. You're not one of the upper crest of society. So we don't want to see you. We don't want to hear from you. But we're going to pretend to be you. Yeah. And it's the same thing, like what Lee was saying, when they try to cover these groups that they represent. I know we all know people in these demographics that they try to represent, and well, none of them are Doctor Who fans anymore, but when they were still Doctor Who fans, they were mortified. I'm like, they're treating us like caricatures, and they are being, and in the way they portray people, they are actually being the ists and the phobics, whatever, that they claim to be. And it's
the bigotry of soft. It's the soft bigotry of low expectations.
You know what? It's not that. It's not that. It was really overt. You know, about a year ago, up until about a year ago, you had a major political party in England that went totally anti-Semitic, like totally. And every one of these people that scream about equality and diversity, every one of them were 100% in the bag for this leader in this party. Yeah, it was like we were like, what the hell? You know,
because they're the biggest themselves. They do. It's a lot of projection. They project their own insecurities and their own bigotry on the rest of us. They're the racists. They're the bigots.
Well, look at the way they've gone after Gal Gadot. The way they've gone after Gina Carano. Now they're going after Rosario thingy. What's her face? Sakatana.
Are they really?
You're seeing the separation.
Agree with them or doesn't follow their politics. They're just a bunch of lunatics. And they've ruined every single fandom. And that's the thing. Once they ruin a franchise, they'll move on to the next one. They're like locusts. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination. But we must
no. What you're seeing, what you're going to start seeing, and I talked about this in a video that's coming out. You're seeing a separation from the useful idiots. So the useful idiots are people like Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker and Alyssa Milano and just all the all the freaking big. All the fucking morons that have been out there. Now you're going to see the people who are more centered or industrial within the Democratic Party or even the rhinos and the Republicans start separating themselves from the people who are supporting the rioting and looting and all that stupid shit. And I've got a clip of some major, we'll just say a major celebrity separating himself from them and you're starting to see him call this shit out or starting to offer olive branches, right? I don't think that'll ever happen with Doctor Who. I think they actually believe the garbage that they believe and they think it's the right way. And in a lot of ways, they think they're the centrists. They do. They actually think that, no, we're the reasonable ones in the middle. We're segregating people. That's completely normal. We make our marginalized people of color look like children by having them suck their fucking thumbs and following around like in Orphan 55, and that exposes them. That's intersectionalism right there on display. And as far as Jodie is concerned, to go back to her being dumb, I mean, yes, she's dumb. She doesn't care. She's one of those useful idiots, and they don't care what happens to this franchise. Chris Chibnall was no longer a fan of this franchise when he came on. He was above it. He probably looks at Doctor Who as this little kid show. It's this dumb little kid show.
Yeah,
you can play with
that way. So he must think that it's written that way. I mean, he certainly does. I mean, and the worst thing about his era as well is he put a story out, but because he's not very good at explaining, he needs to put some. He needs either Jodie Whittaker's Doctor to explain it, or he puts some little stupid animation up to explain it because he's not good enough. He can't develop characters. He doesn't know how to move a story along either.
It's all tell and no show.
Well, we know he's a bad writer, put it that way. So
I mean, explain to you guys in the UK, like, how did he get that far? Okay, I saw Broadchurch season 1. I thought it was like really depressing, and I can tell you
because I've spoken to Bolstrek and another person who actually said the same thing, actually completely unrelated. So it's sort of like, well, that's triangulation for me. Back in the day when he was a member of the Doctor Who Appreciation Society, he was sort of doing quite well with ingratiating himself with that group. So I think really it sort of starts from there. So you build your little networks there. He's just one of those people who've clearly failed upwards. You know, I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched a show called The Britas Empire.
Yeah,
I highly recommend it. It's a really good sort of 90s British comedy, and it really does exemplify that entire sort of process where people who can't, to get rid of them, you can't sack them anymore because of all these stupid laws. So now you can only sort of promote them upwards. And so that's how you get these sort of middle management types. I think what it stems from is people are terrified of looking stupid in front of their peers. So they tend to surround themselves with people who are just as inadequate. And then they hire people who are less qualified and less talented than they are, so that all the tiers underneath them end up being worse and worse. And then, of course, they fail upwards and they become the new people in charge. And then they hire people beneath them who are worse than they are. So it's just an never decreasing circle, ever decreasing circle.
Feeling that it's something bigger than this. The things that are happening in the world, because let's face it, it's not only Doctor Who that this stuff has been happening to. It's all the franchise, Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever. And even look, I was watching YouTube today, right? And I was so bored, I was going to watch some trailers. Do you know what every trailer has in common now? The new ones.
Wow.
Every woman is either married to a black guy or is dating a black guy, right?
Really?
And then you've got the best friend who is gay, right? Either black or gay, right? And then it just goes on and on and on. It really does, and it's ridiculous. And as I said, right, it's not only Doctor Who this stuff is going through. Do you think there was a think tank 20 years ago and they set this thing in motion? Do you think that happened?
I can speak to that.
Purpose.
What I'd recommend, because if we went into it, it would take up the whole stream. But I would recommend to everybody here and everybody watching, if you haven't already, check out Dave Cullen's recent videos, Computing Forever. He has been dissecting this, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Dave isn't either. But what he's found out is absolutely, it's terrifying. And so Computing Forever, Dave Cullen, every video he's put out in probably the past 3 months where he has looked into what's going on, and it is absolutely terrifying. And yes, it has been going on for decades. And that's why we're seeing it manifest now.
That problem being there's a lot more about me called Common Purpose, who he said it's like, basically the cause of all this crap.
Well, there was the Pink Mafia before Common Purpose, wasn't there? Problem.
The Pink Mafia is what lines up directly with the BBC.
It's all interconnected. This is all part of the intersectionality. What they mean by intersectionality is not the intersectionality of different groups that they consider to be under the heel. It's their pals within certain organizations that represent those groups. So you've got people being heavily manipulated by identifying with groups rather than as themselves as individuals, and I think that plays and predates upon that. So these organizations get a hell of a lot of funding. If you look at Stonewall, for example, which is one of the biggest LGBT organizations on the planet, all the funding has been sort of funneled away from gay people, lesbian people, bisexual people, and put somewhere else. I'll leave you to guess which. And it's to the tune of hundreds of thousands of pounds. And it seems to me that groups especially, are used to get to a certain point, then they're thrown under the bus, and then the next one is taken on board, not only to stay relevant, but to keep hold of the control of the narrative. So I think that is something that has sort of spread throughout the culture. And with people like Common Purpose, what they do is that they train people up, they put them into positions of power. They don't produce any minutes in their meetings. They are a charitable organization. They operate under a secrecy rule. But what they do is, they sort of train people. I think it's in some sort of struggle session situation. And then they get them on board with the message, and they put them into positions of power. So that's within BBC, it's within the police, within the court system, within political parties, you name it, everywhere. And it trickles down. So you put them in charge, then they hire people that they want to hire, and it's usually people from those groups and organizations.
And you talk about common purpose. Oh, sorry, Gary, but you talk about common purpose there. Are you aware that in the UK as well, that Black Lives Matter now officially doesn't exist as it was? It has now got a grant from the government to do basically the same thing.
That'll be common purpose.
Yeah. So it's going on the same. I mean, if I can cheer everybody up with some factoid, Gary, I'd like to say that I was given the figure today by somebody I know that 500 people per day are cancelling their TV license, are defunding the BBC. 500 per day. I did it some time ago. I know Az has done it too. If you've joined this revolution, I applaud you. And please, everybody else, get on board. Defund the BBC. This is the only way they're ever going to learn. It's the only way the BBC can. We're not talking about destroying the BBC. We're talking about reforming the BBC to a point where any of us would even consider having a TV license. Again, there's nothing that the BBC. I mean, you were talking earlier on about how has this happened like this. There is nothing. You mentioned, Gary, about Chris Chibnall. Where did he come from? How has he got this far? There is nothing that the BBC over the last 20 years. This is stretching back before BBC Studios. There's nothing they've coveted more than the global stage. They want to be the HBOs. They want to be the Netflixes. And they don't know how because they've never understood the global stage. So they see somebody like Chibnall, who had a massive hit for ITV Studios, huge hit with Broadchurch, was able to sell that on that global stage all over the world at the time when they were losing Stephen Moffat and didn't know where to turn. They could just think, that's our guy. We will wait 2 years for the right guy. That's our guy. We don't know what we're doing, but he must do. Mustn't
well,
he?
It's interesting. Common Purpose.
That's the thing, Robbo.
Common Purpose did actually tweet a congratulatory tweet to Chris Chibnall some time ago, congratulating him on winning an award. But that tweet, when I clicked
an award.
He won an award for something.
For what?
But they congratulate. I went and clicked on the link.
Backstroke award.
It was a blue stripe. I clicked on the
link and it had gone. That whole tweet. And even now when I Google that tweet, which I found in the Google search, is now gone. So I know that there was one. But
can I ask a question? Is the council estate doctor in the Christmas special? Does anybody know?
Oh,
I doubt it.
No?
Maybe, but they haven't. No...
I might just watch it if she's in it.
That'll be their surprise.
I'm not watching it.
I just thought I'd ask a question. Tim Davey, if he's serious, if Tim Davey's serious,
right now it's scheduled for New Year's Day at 10 to 7.
So is it? Okay, so it's not on Christmas. That's what I was going to ask you guys.
No, it's not.
It doesn't look like it's on Christmas. That the slot's filled anyway, so it can't be there. Yeah,
Vicar of Dibley. The Vicar of Dibley's got their spot.
So it's scheduled right now against two huge soap operas.
Wait, hold on. The Vicar of Dibley, who's half the cast are now dead.
Yes, it's come back.
They've got the Christmas plot over dogs fucking out.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's much confidence they had in Doctor Who.
Of that cast is now dead. But they're gonna okay. That makes perfect sense to me.
That goes to show you, we laugh and joke about, but that goes to show you the current state of the show, that you can't even put it on a daytime slot on Christmas Day on what you know what I mean. And
I'd much rather watch Dawn French than that stupid fucking Sheffield bin.
They're putting it up against Emmerdale. It's going to be destroyed New Year's Eve.
Emmerdale and Corey. Emmerdale and Coronation Street. I can't wait to see the ratings.
It's going to be destroyed in the ratings.
That's why they got Captain Jack in it.
But it's not only the competition. It's like it takes about a year or so for the normie public to get in their head that this is shit. This is awful. And that's really what season 12 did.
Sorry, normies are fucking slow. Sorry, guys. I love you. We'll go around. You all some slow people sometimes. I want to call Az out on his negativity. The cast of that show is half alive. Okay.
Half alive and probably
be a glass half full, not a glass half dead. Sorry, my bad.
Well, Tim Davey.
by the end of season 12, they
Was
promoted it.
Roger Lloyd dead?
Children, right? Wrote it heavily.
Dead. The fucking old guy's dead. It's like,
But as in these new specials, you know what? Roger Lloyd Pack, as you said, he's been dead for about 7 years. His character in that show, they're keeping him alive for these specials.
What?
okay.
Work that one out.
Hey,
Why did they bring back Captain Jack? Somebody tell me, please. Why did
Because
he
he's
Like
gay.
a rating.
Because he's gay.
one at a time, please?
Captain Jack was brought back because they got a ratings boost last year.
Whoa!
Okay, so let me
Not
talk.
by much.
Oh, branding right there.
He didn't get a ratings boost though.
He did give a rating boost. You see, he was he's the purple chart is season 12, and the blue one is season 10. Capaldi's last, which was the worst.
That's not a boost. That's like a heartbeat.
It was, they got a 300. They got a 400,000 boost from Captain Jack last time. But look at the end of the season. They got 4.99, heavily promoted, and Radio Times cover. It was a big season finale. They said this was the big one, and it didn't help. It increased the rate of decline. So that to me indicates the British viewing public have gone, this is boring, this is preachy, we're not interested. And it's okay to like take the piss out of now because it's so bad. This is a new Crossroads. Crossroads was a soap in the 60s.
Yeah.
Where you went to England, where you just it's the thing you can take the piss out of. That's what
Crossroads was the British version of a novella.
It was.
That's what made it unique. That's what made Crossroads unique. This is just
I have a
disaster,
question.
not a novella.
Go on then, Gary.
I have a question. Oh, I showed the article, boomer. So with this Captain Jack announcement, and we know this episode was filmed a long time ago. Do you think he was added in, or they were just waiting to announce it?
No. They when they filmed the special, I actually said before the announcement, about a week before, that I suspected that they had him for longer and that they were going to use him for the next thing. And because he was in that episode, wasn't he? The I can't remember.
It was fugitive, and those scenes were reshoots as well. They were shot months after the rest. They were shot in late September.
But I knew it was going to be
in the episode
special.
that the Doctor didn't care or realize that her companions were vanishing one by one.
Yeah, that's the one. Can't blame her.
It was that episode.
She never seems to know where they are or give a shit. It's
She doesn't
really
care
weird.
where they are. There's a big
And she
difference.
always comes in the last minute when everybody's done all their hard work and takes credit for it too. Oh, and she likes killing a lot of innocent aliens and stuff and human beings.
Well, she wiped out the entire human race in the future, right? So there's about 5 of them left after she managed to get about 3 or 4 of them. The rest of them all killed off. Then she brings them home, right, to Earth in the 21st century to live in a council house TARDIS. Right, they've got no ID, they've got no money, they've got no way, of understanding
No
the culture.
TV license.
And the TV
exactly.
license. And they're brought back here, and that's the future, the very last bits of humanity brought back to the 21st century. So that's it. It's a loop, and the future of humanity is now an endless loop in
It's the
time.
paradox.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks.
But on the bright
Thanks.
side, we have flying Cybermen heads, so which I think makes it all worth it, right?
Oh God!
Flying Cybermen heads with laser, with like laser that shot out their eyes. It's
Straight
like
out of the Orville. Straight out of the Orville.
Oh man!
I'm not watching it.
Gary, did you see the news on Taran Design?
Dude, I'm watching. I'm making some money out of this fucking.
I know you are.
I'm gonna get paid.
Video.
That's it. I'll affect that, man. I have to see what happens. But did you see the news on Taran Design, Gary?
You get a picture of it?
It's very strong and brave and stunning.
I should have a picture there for you. I'll get it now.
Yeah, show the actors playing them, Noel, as well.
Oh yeah,
That's actually a factor. That is true.
yeah. If you just want to have a laugh, wait. You see.
I like the way that there's an advert on the other side just saying "run."
Both sides.
Run, just get
Very
away.
offensive. Yeah.
Run from this shit, quick.
Et tu, John.
God,
Et
Sarah
tu.
Paulson's in everything.
Well,
Dude,
John Barrowman's easy to get because he loves playing Captain Jack.
Yeah.
And those guys, he will play it any time he wants a more profile for Captain Jack. And yeah, he's an actor. He doesn't realize how bad Doctor Who is. Like
He came back so over the top, and it was just so
It's easy to get because he's not being hired anywhere else. He's starring on stupid quiz shows and stuff. Like nobody's hiring him as an actor, so obviously they're going to go.
He's
Do you want
in
to star in
America.
this?
He's in
gonna go,
America
yes.
doing his shit. That's
Yeah,
He's doing crap in America.
Yeah,
They pay well. They pay
Yeah,
well.
they do. Arrow. He was an Arrow. Yeah.
I actually think he's coming back though, because he genuinely knows the show is in trouble and he wants to help. I think because we said that Jordan Series 12 when he came back for that little cameo. Why would he come back for a 30-second cameo? Like, so I'm being honest with you, I actually think he knows the show's in trouble and that's why he's coming back. And in the Radio Times interview, the latest interview by Chris Chibnall, he also spoke about how he would love to bring Amy and Rory back. So he's already talking about bringing back other companions as well. Look at the Chris Chibnall is doing this, and the BBC are doing this because John Barrowman gave them a ratings boost, and they're hoping by putting in the Sontarans and all of these other classic villains that we're all going to go flooding back to Doctor Who. Well, after Series 12, we won't be going flooding back to Doctor Who. Why would I?
Well, we haven't seen the fallout from the Timeless Children yet. That's something that hasn't been factored in.
Yeah.
People didn't tune in to see it. I mean, for a finale, it went poof off a cliff.
Yep.
And we haven't seen the effect of that since. So, I mean, this will be very telling. I'll be surprised, and I'm going to put this out there, if that they get 2 million.
Yeah, I agree. Under 3, I think they're getting between. I reckon they're getting the low 3s. I
would predict 3 to 4.
Yep.
Yeah, I think because it's still on New Year's Day.
Oh, it's Corey and Emmerdale. That's a pretty tough crowd.
Yeah,
it is. But it's on a day. It's still on New Year's, isn't it? So there is a chance.
But if I highball it and they lowball the rating, I'm gonna get paid. I'm gonna get paid.
This special trailer tomorrow is going to be epic to review. We've waited for this trailer. We want to dissect this trailer, take it apart. Well, I bet you we'll get nothing in it of significance anyway, because I bet you the trailer's going to be bland like everything else.
Well, we thought we were going to get it for the children in need special, but what we got was a woman who looked like she was crying for help, like she dead in the eyes.
It's called Jodie Whittaker.
Yes, the children in need of the audience going, "I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it."
Yeah, but not only that, Jordan, that children in need appearance, she didn't even look bothered.
No. Listen, she's still not bothered. When she was on, was it James Corden with that big interview with David Tennant and Matt Smith, and she had the chance to promote the special. She got the name wrong. Really? Can't you get the dialect? I mean, for God's sake, it's your job, which you're overpaid for. Just say words and say the right freaking words.
That's another thing. She gets paid the same as Capaldi did. She does less work, less episodes. She's doing one series every 2 years, and she's getting paid the same money. So when we're talking about like this pay gap, bollocks.
It's bullshit.
Absolutely, and I can't wait when the trailer gets released tomorrow. I'm sure for the 3rd year in a row, we're going to hear that this is just like a blockbuster movie, and it's really cinematic, because they said that the previous 2 years, almost the exact same thing.
Well, they won't fill it this time, Gary. I can tell you that. I'm not going to be filled again by Chris Chibnall. Series 11, he did something different, and then in Series 12, I will give him credit for one thing. He did try make it go back to the old and familiar, but that was him basically, saying he got it wrong.
He didn't. He didn't. He was mandated to.
Yeah, it would have been.
He was mandated to put in the old enemies because he was the one refusing to put them in.
Yeah, true.
The only thing that was remotely Doctor Who about it was the fact there was a TARDIS in it. That was it.
Yep. Retardis, mate.
That's going to go soon.
Yes, it is.
Which is going to turn into a
Noel-
post box or a phone booth or something.
Yeah.
Well, Noel's rumor was that it's going to turn into a camper van, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm just like, yes, do
Cancel
it.
flat, mate.
Like, oh, it already has. It already has.
Council flat. That would be hilarious.
Cancel flat.
We've already got a council house TARDIS.
When I put that rumor out, that caused an awful lot of bloody
But you
uproar.
think they'd love it, wouldn't you? I mean, all the rumors you put out, they should all be going, yes, we want that. Yes. Oh my God, yes. Bring it.
Here's the fourth photo, Gary. So I'll just share that one. I've just shared something there. If you want to, there's this new Santarin design.
Nice. It's
Which
like the old
looks
one.
good, actually.
Right. It actually does look good, right? But it's the next photo. So I'm going to stop this for a minute because it's in
The next picture for the big reveal.
So hold on, because it's in someone's private account. I don't want to show it.
Oh, dox the hell out of him. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, it's one of the panelists. So if you want me to, I will.
Oh, heck no.
I'm only messing. Here you go. I'm about to share this one for you. Now, listen, guys, right? Just when you see this, it's funny. Because think about it. We've seen this photograph now. So when they talk and if they have a male voice, you're going to say, no. So there's the new Santarin stuff.
And what was your rumor? Non-binary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we won't get into that.
Wait,
again.
their costumes look very different. Are that's or is it without their costumes?
No, they just got rain protectors.
Oh, right, okay. I thought what?
Yes, Santarans don't like getting their uniforms all soggy.
They're played by women who look absolutely. Look at the faces on them all. They look like they don't want to even be there. I wouldn't blame them.
I
Anyway.
know you can't read that into a picture. It could be cold. It could be miserable.
Yeah,
they could have been stood
be.
there for an hour.
True.
Well,
Yeah,
it could be in a shit show, which is going to be awful and an embarrassment to the world.
And
I
being-
think
They've got
get the
they've got
gig,
masks
Lee.
on, so it's clearly like rainy or wet. or stuff
having
like
been
that.
a film extra, I can tell you it can be an incredibly miserable experience.
How comes you didn't get the gig, Lee? How comes you didn't get the gig, mate?
So I don't know if you've seen the full
Outside the
picture of Santarin. So here's a full picture, a closer picture of what the redesign looks like. And I have to say, we're all pretty impressed. It is a good redesign.
Oh, Father Miller.
Just to know, we've got we're very representative here.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's the old
I
one.
think I've seen that before. I've seen that design before.
Yeah, so have I.
Look at the
Yeah,
name.
no, that's the old one. That's the,
No, that's the one that they've showed in the raid. That's the new one, isn't it?
no, that's the
no,
old
that-
one.
That's from the.
That's from, like,
Santarin experiment.
For God's sake,
That
no,
was from 1972.
I'm an idiot. Shut up now.
No, you got it. It was right the next picture along. You had it right there.
All right. Well, I'm an idiot. There you go. I'm a boomer. I'm being a boomer.
all right. You're amongst friends here. It's okay. So
Yeah.
I want you, when they bring back every villain, it's only to change them, to do something sectional with them. Why I'm utterly shocked, and it's probably only because of Nicholas Briggs that we haven't had a female voiced Gallic. And I think it's just a matter of time. And Bolstrek's going to go in, he went into it a little bit, how much Big Finish has just gotten worse. It's actually taken the baton of intersectionality and really just ran with it and destroyed. And I don't care if it's mandated at this point. And I said this at the end of Timeless Children, and I meant it for anybody professionally involved in Doctor Who. After that episode, that was your line drawn in the sand to a lot of us in the fandom, including yours truly, who I'm in the same place. I'm no longer a fan. I don't buy anything new Doctor Who. If it is, it's secondhand. And I got a question for the roundtable and everybody in the chat in just a moment. But the whole thing is to undo it. The problematic past, the white male gaze and the white supremacy that permeated through previous Doctor Who. I'm going from their perspective. And yeah, they're embarrassed about it. We're just going to start getting warning labels. They're going to start reshooting old episodes. That's why I collected all the physical media I could, so I don't have to give them any money. I'm going to Tortuga the shit out of the BBC live episode. I don't even have to Tortuga. All you need is a VPN and I can watch it live and through the fucking iPlayer for free. It's real easy. So that, and I'm going to review it, but everything they do, it's predictable. So, I mean, once we find out what villain's going to be and what we'll go, okay, then Centaurans, okay, they'll be. And yeah, it's going to be that easy. And if it's that easy, that shows you how little they're actually putting it and how little of storytelling. And I don't know how much longer this lasts for them. No, you guys said it might not last past the 60th. I think it barely makes it to that.
Yeah,
I just know on the product side, on the licensing side, that's where it makes its most money. So you license the show to HBO or in China, that's where they make the bulk of their money. So the BBC license fee will hurt, but not as bad as other countries not licensing the show. And all of its value, and this is from, and you guys know, giving you anything surprising here, is based on the Tennant era. The Tennant, Matt Smith, Eccleston era is where the value of Doctor Who comes in on.
Yep.
And right now, the best-selling toys are those classic toys that they're just and all they're doing is repainting everything. So it's pretty cheap for them to do that stuff. They don't have to make any new molds. They've made a couple, but not many. I don't want to give up too much about my source, but yeah, that's where the money's being made, and that's why they're cranking out this classic shit left and right. But there's been interruptions in China where the stuff is being made, and they're like taking it in the shorts financially on that side. So there's other things.
Bathing with bats over there as well, so God knows why.
Oh shit. It's back up and running, but I know I've gotten Big Chief just sent me an email because I had pre-orders from like a year and a half ago that the shit's delayed again. So the third Doctor's delayed. That John Pertwee, which was the last thing I purchased from them. I can't wait to get that. But I don't know when.
Did they introduce the Jodie figure that they couldn't get? They couldn't fund.
Hasn't been. They did. That got delayed again. So I think it's coming out next year. I can look up the email real quick. But yeah, it got pushed back again. But they did fund it. But I think they only made 500 of them worldwide.
Yeah, that's
they only.
By the way, I found the picture that Noel I think was trying to share earlier. If you want to,
yeah,
that's not right, Noel.
That's
so that looks like quite a feminine Sontaran.
Boob armor
from that angle. Yeah,
I see boob armor.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
The Sontarans are grown in whatever.
Nothing matters. And nothing freaking matters. I wish you'd understand. Nothing matters at all. The basic rumor is that, as I understand it, that the Dr. Ruth is the second Doctor, and there was an alternate timeline made, so she's replaced Patrick Troughton, and they're replacing John Pertwee and Tom Baker with female.
Okay, why don't we start from the beginning with that rumor? Because so what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen in the audience of both genders, he's saying that they're going to replace the number. Why are they doing this? To keep the numbering system in place, or are we doing alternate?
No, I think they're doing it to remove the awful white maleness of the character, which they find offensive. Yeah, like the biggest insanity of this, their push for inclusivity and diversity has made it the least inclusive and diverse television ever made. It's made for a teeny tiny clump of piss babies that live on Twitter, that scream about identity. Black people aren't interested in this. If you see things that are made by minority groups, they're normally quite happy, right? You ever seen Dead? You ever seen a Tyler Perry movie? They're normally quite happy things. It's only when white middle class and upper class people make things that black people have to be soul saints, suffering soul saints, or enduring prejudice. Normal people don't live this way.
So
it's very divisive.
But again, so what's the rumor? Take us from the beginning.
So the rumor is that the mystery of Dr. Ruth is that when Hartnell that she goes back and helps Hartnell regenerate and changes the regeneration cycle. So she causes Hartnell to regenerate into Dr. Ruth, which is why she has a Hartnell S TARDIS and no sonic screwdriver. then that one regenerates into an alternative third Doctor, and that one, which is female, and that one regenerates into alternative fourth Doctor, which is also female. I don't know anything about that.
And the 13th Doctor gives her the idea for the sonic screwdriver.
Right, exactly. Yeah, well done.
And I have the rumor here because I was the one that actually broke the rumor. So it's he's making the third Doctor female, and the fourth Doctor will be a person of color. Allegedly, there will be they'll still be recognizable as the Doctor. This is an alternative timeline, by the way. It's not the main timeline. That's what he's attempting.
Thank God.
Joel Martin will fit in as the second Doctor. Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, and Tom Baker's Doctor will be erased from this timeline. That's the explanation to why Joe has an earlier version of Hartnell's TARDIS. That's why that's the explanation for it. That'll be the explanation for it. Also, it'll be basically Jodie Whittaker that will to have a conversation with the Root Doctor, and will basically give her the information on how to create our own sonic screwdriver. Therefore, Whittaker was the one that actually invented the screwdriver. They are going to use already reshot footage of the 10th planet to rewrite the end of the series, like the War Games, when the Doctor, a dying Doctor, contacts Gallifrey for help. They agree, but they want the Doctor to work for them. She regenerates, then agrees, runs, hence Joe Martin. So the reason why we get Joe Martin is because they ran away because she didn't want to help the Time Lords, and that's why the Time Lords are after Root's Doctor, because she was supposed to help. They had an agreement. She broke that agreement. As I said, the third Doctor will be played by a female, and the fourth Doctor. Also, I have here that the TARDIS, because there's so much uproar about the police nowadays, there's a chance that the TARDIS will turn into a camper van, which is very funny.
Van culture, man.
And Jodie was the one that reprogrammed the TARDIS to automatically default as the police box. So again, they're going to change that as well. It was Jodie's Doctor that actually originally turned the police box, turned the TARDIS into a police box.
And I can tell you right now,
I'm not being mean, right? I fucking zoned out.
Yeah, you lost me at Roof Doctor.
You
lost me at the Roof Doctor.
That is always a sign of Christian was writing. Russell T Davies always
So
did this code of
rumor. Now again, I said it was rumor and speculation, and it caused an awful lot of uproar. But again, I will say it again on this channel. It is all rumor and speculation until it's either confirmed or we don't see it happening. But there's loads of other stuff that I got as well that I've been reporting on the channel. Some interesting stuff.
No, that stuff you've just told us about, though, is that connected to Twice Upon a Time, or are they saying that that's connected to the intervention there from the 12th Doctor at Twice Upon a Time? Because
you're expecting too much from Chibnall. I mean, he'll just retcon that as well, probably.
Because from what Noel's just said, I mean, I know that there is about 5 to 10 minutes worth of footage. Actually, it's probably about 5 minutes. 5 minutes worth of footage that Rachel Talalay shot for Twice Upon a Time that's never been used. Now, apparently, the special effects work, the post-production on it was never completed, but it's just a few minutes. They could potentially use that with David Bradley as the first Doctor, and that extended cast, the girl who was playing Polly, the guy who was playing Ben, all that stuff we know that does exist. Just concentrating on the things that we actually know that are fact. That footage does exist if they wanted to bring it out of the stores and misuse it terribly in some sort of bizarre.
Well, the theory that I've always had, and other people have had this same theory, is that Twice Upon a Time was actually ghostwritten by Chibnall, or he directed, forced them in the direction that they went, and you can tell because it's got Chibs all over it. It's got some of the Moffat style, but it's more Chibs than anything else. But the way I see it, the reason why they want to retcon Doctors 2 through 4 is classic series fans who almost universally are considered to be the favorite Doctors. It's 2, 3, and 4. It's always been that way. And the reason is the complete and utter contempt they have for their audience and long-term Doctor Who fans that have rejected this. So that's the motivations behind this. It's another middle finger to fans. They hate us. They don't want us in Doctor Who fandom, and that's why we're not part of Doctor Who fandom anymore. But it's just when you think they haven't shit on classic series fans enough, they find a new way.
By the way, just want to hear something even more spectacular. This won't, don't worry, this will make you perk up, believe it or not. You'll probably want to do a video on this one as well. So Chibnall, this was the information I got on the Sontarans at the time. Chibnall plans to reimagine the Sontarans as a race of non-binary warriors. He has also said in a town meeting that the Doctor will allude to being bisexual in Series 13 and may have an adventure where a guest star explores this. Also, as I said, the TARDIS exterior, I should say, is being threatened because of the negative public outcry towards the piece. And there's also talk of a multi-master episode where Ainsley and Delgado will be recast.
Ainsley.
As women.
I always say his name wrong.
As women.
Well, the Sontarans are essentially non-binary because they're grown.
Yeah, they're clones.
So that's not exactly anything new. We just,
but they're going to make
we just didn't label everything, which we have to do today.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's got a jar full of condiments and they've just put stickers with exactly what everything is. No, we know what stuff is. We don't need to have your white stickers with, look, this is a this. Look, it's the marmalade. Look, everyone, it's the marmalade. Let's all have a look at the marmalade. Yeah,
this is how you know that it's signaling as well, rather than actually, writing or certainly entertaining. My God, that's a dirty word at the beginning.
A lot of people are saying to me when they hear these rumors, I hope he does even half of the stuff in it, because then that will be truly the end of the show. And it's actually sad to hear that, because it's gone that bad that fans would rather see it die.
Yeah, I'd rather see it die now.
I'm there. Timeless Children did that for me.
Yeah,
I don't care about any of this.
I agree, Dan. It's already there. So, I mean, like at this point, and I know it's still like a gaping open wound to a lot of people, and it is for me too. And honestly, it hasn't affected how I watch old Doctor Who. I was afraid it would, but like Svi, I don't take it seriously. I mean, Doctor Who died. For me, you can pick your end point, a few Capaldi episodes, but after that, that's it for me. I don't count it. I don't rewatch it. It's not fun. And this, them bringing back Captain Jack it's pathetic, but it also exposes them for the hypocrites that they are. And let's just think about what organization here in America used to always see things through the lens of race, like all the time. I think they had pointy hats, little white robe, and now we're seeing it from the progressives, which this is beyond that. And we brought up earlier, this has always been about the bigger picture, folks. We have just all chosen, or we made a choice, to cover pop culture. But I think it, with my channel, with Az's channel, and Noel's, it all, right, it evolves, and we're seeing this gone beyond coming to a head. And we just chose to tell our story through our Doctor Who reviews. And but it was always about the bigger picture and what's going on. And now we're seeing like governments. The policy is set by virtue. We actual laws now. So this is what we were trying to warn you about for a long time. Like,
years.
Stop it here before it gets into our house. And now it's in our freaking houses and in our flats, in our apartments. And we keep drawing the battle line. It stops when we stop it. And you brought up Dave Cullen earlier, Boltrek.
Yep.
Watch his videos. It stops when we stop it. We're the only ones. These freedoms that we have, honestly, we haven't had to fight for them for a long time. There's a lot of people who died for these freedoms, and it might be our turn. And I wish I could have stopped it at Doctor Who or Star Trek. I wish we all could have, but now it's gone beyond that. So now,
you didn't see this coming, Gary. It's not any of our fault, but it is important that we continue doing what we do, all of the channels, and highlight these things, because You know, if we don't do it, nobody else will, because fans and the general public, let's be honest, they've all gotten to the stage where they don't care anymore. They're fed up. You know,
and you're not getting that back. Once apathy sets in, you're dead. I mean, George R. Martin has a great blog post from years ago talking about that, talking about once apathy gets into a fandom, it's done. And that's what he feared the most for his story, but that's what's happening to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So I have a question for the panel. I have a question for all you guys. Then we'll get to some super chats and we can go around. Has Timeless Children affected your viewing of classic episodes or even the neoclassic stuff? Start with Dan.
Kind of like you, Gary, I was worried that it might. I think when we last spoke, you talked about that, and a few of us said, no, it'll be okay. But I wasn't sure whether it would or not. And in my case, it's been fine. It has. And I think some of it is because it's a comfort blanket, particularly classic Doctor Who, because it's associated with mostly my childhood or into the 90s when I was picking them up on VHS or whatever. And recently I've watched a couple of bits from new Doctor Who as well, one from the Russell T Davies era and a couple from the Moffat era too. And I did that quite tentatively because I thought that by association, because the format's largely kind of the same and it's got that connective tissue and all the culture at the BBC is more recognisable from then than it was from the 70s and the 80s. But no, even that stuff's sort of localised somehow. I've zoned it off. I think the only way that any of us can cope, I tell people all the time when I talk on the podcast, or I repeat myself a lot, and I say that Doctor Who, our connection to it, there's crossover, but I think it's really subjective and really, really personal, and we cope with this however we can. I've zoned it off. So I was all for the whole thing being one big mass for ages. That's what I wanted. I didn't see the classic and new divide. Now the divide is actually helping me. So I've got the classic series. I've got the new series. I've got Classic Who. I've got New Who, and I've got Not Who, which is everything from 2018 onwards. And that's my coping strategy, my coping mechanism, and it's getting me by fine. I'm buying up those Blu-ray box sets that are coming out, the HD ones, all those features, and cherry picking what I want to see, for making content or just watching them with my kids or my mates or whatever. So no, it hasn't, but it was touch and go, and there's nobody more relieved and more surprised than me about it. I hate to say it, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you. And don't ever, you're a professional, I know. Repeating ourselves is something we have to do all the time.
Yeah. Tell them again.
Your podcast for the first time. So that's why I have to say at least every 5 videos that I used to own a comic shop.
Really? Did you?
I did.
I call BS.
I never knew that.
Never knew that.
He worked in Tesco like everyone else.
Wow.
Sorry.
Is there a Tesco in America?
No, or Safeway, I think that has.
I have to say, for me, it did affect me.
Not your turn yet, Noel. It's not your turn, pal.
No,
the rabbi.
Okay, I didn't know. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Rabbi. Sorry.
Who do you want to go? No or me? I don't mind. I'm easy.
I don't care.
Go.
No, you're easy. That's for sure.
I am easy. Doesn't take fine. I'll get. Listen, Star Wars for me is something that I really have a problem looking at older Star Wars now. When they brought out that X-Wing fighter video game, which normally I'll be like all over, I'm like cold, nothing, just dead. So. Yeah, it's a concern, but honestly, the only good thing about this era is made everything that's become before it so much better. Like when season 11 came out, I went back and rewatched Clara's run. It took about a year over it, and it was so much better. So much better, I remember. So now, for me, I've cauterized it at the end of Capaldi. I've re-edited Twice. By the way, I actually really enjoyed Twice Upon a Time. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I really freaking love the episode. But I re-edited it, so now when he starts to regenerate, it cuts to white, dips to white, and then cuts to a exterior shot of the TARDIS in space, cut to titles. I'm just happy to wait. I don't care how long it is. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I really firmly believe everything's going to come back. Everything will come back at some point because the bottom line is this.
This is a
It's
man
not
of faith, you can tell, can't you?
I'm like, woof.
You know, it makes money when it's done right, and eventually somebody's got. Everybody likes money. I know it's a bit Jewy of me, but it's true. Everybody kind of likes money, right? So at some point they're going to go. Maybe we should not stop pissing on this thing and actually do something. I think Time of Victorious was an attempt to do it, but it had that incredible BBC inefficiency that screwed it up beyond belief. But I think there's a recognition.
I'm sorry. I mean, like, I know it was ambitious, but the only people buying Time Lord Victorious are people like us. The ones they pissed off, because you have to go through like fucking string theory to figure out where you're going to go to get the next part of the story. It's like one's a free episode, and then 3 books, and then 3. I mean, like, in a big finish. Like, oh, fuck this! I don't.
Transmedia. It's a new thing, even though it's been around for ages, and I actually knew the guy who invented the term. But it's transmedia, and they clearly don't understand how you do transmedia, which is all the funnier, because you have to start with a great central thing that you can latch onto. So you need a big central story, and Rabbi is quite right when he said in his videos that you should give that away for free, and then every add-on other than that, you can then pick up the pieces and take it on a tangent and make your own story out of it.
Pull it off during the 50th. They tried it. I mean, not to this extent, but they tried. They did that during the 50th, and they couldn't pull it off. So I mean, why now? I know it's
desperation.
Daleks, they're putting out this one free thing called Daleks! ! Which sounds like a bit of a lazy title, right? And it fits perfectly. It is the worst thing I've ever seen. I can't believe this thing got put out. The level of animation is kind of similar to this Doctor Who game that came out in the 90s or the early 2000s called Destiny of the Doctors. It's shocking how bad the animation is.
Fan animations are better. The Dalek Tales by a fan is so much better, and that was a decade ago or something.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Ian, how you feeling about that these days?
Look, as I said to you in the last time I was on your stream, I am not watching Doctor Who ever from this point ever again. And watching the old classic episodes makes me smile. New Who kind of makes me smile, but I have a love-hate relationship with New Who, as you know. But it hasn't spoiled my enjoyment at all, and nor should it spoil anyone else's enjoyment. Look, you either accept Jodie as the Doctor or you don't, and I don't, and it doesn't bother me. We have to remember we do not own those IPs. They own them. They can do whatever they want with it, right? But they cannot take away what we think of the show, and that's where our strength lies. That's what I think.
Absolutely.
Slightly different attitude to Ian, because yes, we don't own the IP, but you know what? We do own the IP, because the British Broadcasting Corporation should be serving the public. That's its purpose. Yeah. Therefore, the IP that they create and the IP that they put on the TV are to service us. And so, yes, we feel it. I think as Brits, and I'm not trying to dismiss anyone who is not a Brit, but as Brits, we kind of feel much more attached to things like Doctor Who, because we kind of feel that it's ours.
It's a British
just like superheroes are more American than they are British. There's just something intrinsically British about Doctor Who. And as with us having the BBC here in the UK, which is certainly a unique broadcasting corporation, everything kind of surrounding it has felt different, has felt unique. And so to have it so butchered, to me, has been very difficult. And after the Timeless Children, I tried to do Sunday reviews of New Who, starting from scratch. I think I managed to get through 2 episodes, and my heart wasn't in it. It just really wasn't in it. And unless I've been pulling references from episodes to particularly show the hypocrisy of Whittaker's Doctor and how poor her Doctor is, I just haven't found myself able to watch Doctor Who again. It's just gone. I smile when I see pictures of Capaldi. I smile when I see the great speeches that the other Doctors have done. They will always be special and I will cherish. But I can't I've been unable to sit down and just like, right, let's go watch Doctor Who because I know where it's headed. And it's just heading into a disgusting intersectional disaster. Because the BBC, well, they certainly don't believe that they're serving the British people anymore, or should be serving the British people anymore, and that's the only reason why they've been allowed the TV license. And so, yes, if it's 500 people a day which are stopping paying the license, let's make it 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 a day.
So they get the message.
Yeah,
exactly.
My mum was bullied yesterday.
They've got nothing but disdain, from license fee payers, and the way, and they are, Ian. That's exactly right. That's what they are. They're bullies and goons that work for. They work for Capita officially, but Capita is the BBC. They go. I won't tell the story about how they bullied my son on his university campus again, but it was quite. My mind was made up by that point anyway. I'd lost my license fee, but everything I'm hearing since is just blowing my mind.
Yeah,
they bullied my mum by sending her like 10 letters. Wow. And the last one she got was red. The letters was in red, and my mum was really upset. And I kept saying to her, "You don't need to be upset. Would you just come off it? That's all."
I got a phone call a couple of days after I deleted my direct debit.
Yeah.
And then I got letters. Then I got knocks on the door.
Yeah.
Twice. Knocks on the door twice.
Yeah.
So
have you had the letter yet? Have you had the letter yet that says in big red letters on the envelope? It says it's not worth taking the risk. Have you had that one yet, Az? That's a good.
Look, I've beyond that because I've actually gone. I actually spoke to. I got through. When I got, I think that letter. That's when I phoned them up and said I'm not paying the TV license anymore. And I actually had a really nice person on the phone, and she was like, can you tell me why? And I was like, I don't watch terrestrial television. I said after the Doctor Who, last season of Doctor Who, I'm done. I don't watch television anymore. This was the only thing I was really watching it for. Yeah. And since you've done this to this show, there's no reason for me to watch it. Yeah. So nothing downstairs is plugged in to receive terrestrial signal. I consume my media through YouTube and Netflix and other streaming services, and I'd like to be removed from the license payer list. So I actually then received a letter after. Well, actually, she said, "You know what? I just watch Netflix and YouTube myself." But then I got a letter afterwards saying, "Right, you're now on a list that will last 2 years."
Yeah, that's what I had as well.
And this list is saying that you are exempt from paying TV license, and you have declared that you are not receiving a terrestrial signal into your house, or you're not, converting the terrestrial signal in your house to watch BBC. And it's got like a caveat saying if you do consume BBC or are caught watching the BBC, you're liable for £1,000 fine or £10,000 fine, whatever it is, and we will correspond again with you in 2 years, something along those sort of lines. That's where I
got rid of the woke stuff. They'll correspond with you in 2 years. That's probably all happened.
Oh my God, it's horrible, and they're harassing Ian's poor mom.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I didn't know it was that bad. So it's like a normal like American credit card company if you get
because when you're over 80, 85 or something like that, you get it free. The license meant to be free. And now they've taken that away from the old age.
No, it's not. It was younger, Ian. It was like
it was a young 75.
Yeah, my mum's 76 now.
It was 75, wasn't it? Yeah.
And she was getting the TV license for free, and now she's not.
Yeah. My mum's 80.
So they've paid into the BBC all their lives already, and now we want more.
My mum has always had a TV license. She's always been a very diligent person when it comes to bails. And she's always paid. She's never shirked the TV license. To her, it's like a gas bill, electricity
different generation.
Bill. Yeah, because of the way the BBC was funded. So always been paid. So ever since I've been alive, she's paid the TV license year upon year upon year upon year. And the 1 year that she gets it for free, sorry, love, time to pay your TV license again.
Same with mine. Yeah,
that's unbelievable. Yeah. That's unbelievable. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So, problem being. Do you still enjoy Doctor Who?
Well, the classic series, listen,
and the new series up to a certain point.
Nothing will ever take that away from me. I grew up with it. my earliest TV memory was the age of 4, watching Tom Baker, scaring the shit out of me more than Davros. And I was hooked from that moment on. And I was bullied at school for dressing up as the 7th Doctor at School Fate. Had a great Doctor Who club at my school. We had people like Terrence Dix and JNT and loads of guests turn up. It was just magic. And that memory can never be taken away from me. I met John Pertwee through it. All these things. And to be honest with you, when Doctor Who came back, I was excited as much as everyone else. But I'll be honest, I'll say that it wasn't Doctor Who for me. It didn't feel like Doctor Who. It took me years to get into it. You know, I think it took me till Matt Smith. Really.
Yeah.
And I was very hypercritical of it. And I kept watching it, expecting it to be more like what I wanted it to be. And that carried on right through up until Capaldi. And there's this guy called Doctor Who Unwoke, who saw my CGI stuff that I did for Noel's channel and asked me to do an end scene for the Twice Upon a Time. And I did that. So he did a really nice edit to nicely round off the Peter Capaldi era and end it there. And it's a really great edit. I would urge you to watch it.
So he doesn't change then?
No.
Good. Good.
So I just sails off into the sun.
That's what it should be. 100%.
It's a nicely done thing. I was really honoured to do it, and I hope I did it well. But yeah, as I said, for me, there was a 16-year hiatus. There's a big enough gap there. I can cut off the entire New Who era off completely. Just amputate it and keep my little bubble of classic Doctor Who safe. Yeah. I'm quite happy to do that. I haven't formed the same bond I have with the previous Doctors from the classic era. I mean, I'd be loath to do it because I did like Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, and been doing a lot of watch-alongs on Noel's channel with the New Who era and have been enjoying it a lot more than I remembered it the first time. So I think to a point, yeah, I can siphon it off. And that's my mental capacity to do that. Not everyone can do that, I don't think, because it's difficult. It's hard to see something you've loved in your entire life being butchered in front of your eyes and constantly being reminded of that every which way but lives, especially online. The amount of abuse that Noel, myself, and a bunch of other people here, Rabbi especially as well, have received at the hands of this hate group on there, which is called Nut My Doctor. They call us all NMDs, so it's all nice and easy to dehumanize us and to attack us. And they've harbored some terrible trolls. I managed to get one of them knocked off his perch. So it was worth that. But I think if this is where they want to target Doctor Who to this narcissistic, atrocious generation of people who just think it's just for their little inclusivity club, which you're not allowed to join, which is ironic. But they're welcome to it. It's clearly designed for narcissists because it's the most clear signal of narcissism I've ever seen in a show. But anyway, that's
lowest common denominator.
Indeed.
Oh, all right. Bold Trek.
Hello.
Here we go. Go for it.
Okay. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Okay.
Right.
Awesome.
3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Okay. So, yeah, I never thought I would be at this point with Doctor Who. And I guess looking at it from my perspective, I've been in this since the announcement was made. And even to start with Fandom, I've been experiencing the worst of it for the past 3.5 years. And I warned years ago what was going to happen. Everything that I warned about came to pass, and it was far worse than even I could have foreseen. I've seen all the long-term fans, people that have been fans of the show for years, be literally excommunicated from the community. Gallifrey Base is a perfect example. And I don't do Facebook, but Facebook groups and everything else. And I've seen them turn into what calls themselves Doctor Who fans, which are the nastiest people I think I've ever come across. And they are narcissists. They are everything that Problem Being just said. The Doctor Who fan base right now is horrific. And and to put it in perspective, I've been a part of various online fandoms using the same name going back to 1995. I've never seen anything like current Doctor Who fandom. Star Wars never got this bad. Star Trek actually got pretty bad when Enterprise was canceled, and up until now, that was the worst I'd ever seen. But being a Doctor Who fan became completely unpleasant. And it's odd. And you can look at my channel going back, the evidence is there. I was the biggest Doctor Who fan you'd find. I lived and breathed this show for years. So the question as to where I am with the show right now, somewhere I didn't think I'd ever be. And I think I don't, largely because I'm busy doing real world things. Lately I haven't been on YouTube at all, and I'm in and out on Twitter. I'm more on Parler now than I'm on Twitter. But a few weeks ago, I sent out a tweet. I was watching Day of the Doctor. I'm like, this is a remembrance or remembering when Doctor Who was good. And it was actually... There were a few things that got me to this point, but that was one of them. I'm watching it and I'm thinking, I can't enjoy this. I look at New Who and all I see is where it was going. Then there was Big Finish. And also to put this in perspective, I have been a supporter of Big Finish since it began, since Bernice Summerfield. So we're talking 21, almost 22 years. Then around this time, or it was over the summer, Big Finish went completely woke. And there were 4, although ultimately 5 after I left, releases that completely turned me off Big Finish. There was Stranded, which is the first part of a 4-part serial featuring the 8th Doctor. They've turned the 8th Doctor into a whiny simp. The whole story was based around a bisexual character with no characteristics other than being a bisexual character. And also, this story has decided that gay white men are no longer part of the inclusivity spectrum, because the only entertaining part of that was there were 2 older white males, and they are made out to be complete racist bigots. So, yeah, sorry, Lee, you're no longer part of that. Then they followed that up with Missy Series 2, which completely destroyed the character of the Master. If you ever wanted to listen to the Master / Missy talk about fat shaming and the patriarchy in a non-ironic way, I'm not making this up, it's in that story. Then there was the Lovecraft invasion, where the 6th Doctor and his, at this point, 3 female companions go back and meet H.P. Lovecraft. And this is probably the nastiest thing Big Finish has ever done. Now, if you know H.P. Lovecraft, yes, he did have racist views, although he denounced those as he got older. And keep in mind, we're also talking about a completely different time period. So context isn't taken into account. You could actually make a drinking game out of the amount of times that the 6th Doctor says the word racist in that audio. There is no attempt to humanize Lovecraft. And even there's parts in the story where he starts talking about his parents and maybe understanding where he came from, and they literally just tell him to shut up. And then at the end, the Doctor gives probably a 5-minute speech talking about what a piece of shit Lovecraft is and how he's completely irredeemable, which this is not the character of the Doctor. Then they say, oh yeah, Lovecraft dies a few months after this, and they pretty much celebrate it.
Did she say to him, I'm your worst nightmare, I'm a non-binary, gay, lesbian, trans, something?
Yeah,
like,
that line actually takes place in this story.
Yeah.
Then there was the 6th Doctor and Perry adventures. Completely woke, all based on immigration, and not subtly. Then there was the one that made me give up, which I didn't even finish. It was that 2-part that you actually sent me, Rabbi. Sixth Doctor again, just completely woke. Men are bad, and I'm now out of Big Finish. I subscribe to the downloads. My last one lapsed. They will not be getting another cent from me. But I've been looking at what's coming out. They've got a fifth Doctor with an all-female cast, so I can wonder how well that's going to go. They have the 10th Doctor, which the first 3 10th Doctor series were brilliant, but this one is with River Song. So we can imagine where that's going. So Big Finish, fuck you. And also, there's a personal thing to this as well. Gary Russell, who ran Big Finish for the first 9 or so years before it was handed off to Nicholas Briggs, spent a good part of last year slandering me personally all over the internet. So you're very welcome for all that money I gave you. Fuck you, you piece of shit. So it's where I am right now with Doctor Who. I can't stand the production team. I hate Big Finish. I've been attacked personally by multiple people behind Big Finish. I've come to the realization I can't watch New Who anymore. It's ruined for me because I can see where it was going. And then the classic series. I've been watching the classic series all my life. Everybody has seen over the years, I covered my DVD and Blu-ray collection as they came out. That's what this channel was about mainly for years. And I was watching probably the last physical media release I might ever buy of Doctor Who, which was Tom Baker's 3rd season. And I think that was the one where I was watching the extras, and they actually have some people involved with New Who discussing classic Who and giving their 2 cents. And then there's all the kerfuffle about the talents of Wang Chiang. Yeah. So this sucks, but I came to the realization that I don't want classic Who to be ruined for me. So what I actually did, if you see my office in my new house, that's where I keep my DVDs and Blu-rays. I've got it lined with shelves. A lot of them are too deep. Doctor Who used to have its own shelf. I have taken that entire collection. So all these DVDs you watched me unbox and review over the better part of a decade, they're now sitting up in my spare room. I've decided I need to take a break completely from the classic series. I may not watch it for a few years because I don't want it to be ruined like all of New Who has. So that's why I say I'm no longer a Doctor Who fan. This fan base, this production team, the pompous ass twats at Big Finish have destroyed it for me. And this was for 40 years. I was a Doctor Who fan. And even when watching Star Trek get destroyed, I don't feel that way about Star Trek. But then, unlike, say, Gary or Mecha Random, I've never really been personally attacked by the Trekkie fan base. Whereas I've been attacked up and down for years from Doctor Who fans and people involved with the series. I've given you people thousands of dollars over the years. I should add up how much I've given Big Finish over the years. And this is how you treat us in the end.
I just add?
Yep.
Add to that, because I think this is quite important. The BBC have a presence on social media. There's no way that they can see what's going on to people like you, to people like me, to people like Noel, to people like the Rabbi, where we are constantly on the back foot, constantly having to defend ourselves against these bastards who can sit behind a keyboard and use this kind of online struggle session to try and shame us into silence. And the BBC do nothing. They could easily put out a statement saying, we do not condone any kind of bullying within this fandom. Not a word. And for me, given, the way that they treat Az's mum, I think they're complicit in bullying quite.
It's criminal. But I think that the one thing that I want to end this on, so ended on kind of a happy note, and also because I've disappeared from everything for 6 weeks. It had nothing to do with this. It had to do with the fact that my work life is absolutely insane. So this was kind of a unplanned break. But I haven't left YouTube. I will be back either next weekend or the weekend after that, depending on when hours go back to normal. Excellent. I will continue to cover Doctor Who, but it's mainly as how I've been covering it. I'm here to make fun of it. I'm here to rip it apart. That's the only investment I have in the show right now. I'm here to go after the fans that have attacked us for years. And really, my goal now is to expose what's been done to this, and also the other things I cover. Star Trek. I'm sure we'll have fun with woke Batman when it comes back, so that's something to look forward to. The goat's still around.
That's his favorite.
And here's the thing, and this goes with YouTube as well. They've done everything they can to chase us away. They've had my subscriber number has been stalled for a year because as soon as new subscribers come in, an equal amount has been deleted to the point that I don't even look at that anymore. Everything I put up is demonetized or still makes next to nothing. 2 months in a row, at the end of the month, YouTube deleted half my rev. The Quartering made a video on this if you want to see what's going on, because they've done this to a few people. And this is all because they want us off the platform. Well, no, YouTube, I am not gone. If anything, if you thought I was angry before, now I just don't give a shit because I have no investment in really keeping YouTube active because they're just going to screw us anyway, regardless of what they do. So if they're going to screw me, then I'm just going to go on and be a complete jackass. But no, you haven't chased any of us away. We've all
you've been given us resolution.
We're all still here.
Stay. Yeah.
After
4 years of death wishes, death threats, name calling, accusations, you name it.
Not just me.
Yeah. It's the fandom menace is still here. The fandom menace stands. You haven't chased any of us away. If anything, the more you screw us over, and right now everybody on YouTube is getting screwed over. It just strengthens our resolve. Because we aren't like the snowflakes at the other end that would crumble at even the slightest dirty look. We're still here. We're going to continue. I don't do YouTube full time anymore, so I'm in and out. But I'm not going anywhere. My content's going to be sporadic. But my mission now is I don't want to save these franchises. I don't give a shit anymore. I am now here to expose what's happened, and in the case of woke Batman, to make fun of it.
I think it's really sad that you think of Doctor Who that way because of all this stuff that's happened. Personally, I think you shouldn't allow that to taint your love for Doctor Who.
Well, that's why I put the classic series away. I literally put it in boxes where I'm taking an extended break.
Now, people
New Who I don't think I'll see it the same way again. But with Classic Who, it's the same thing when the announcement was made. Like Gary, just to use you as an example, when you took all your Doctor Who figures down. This is what I've had to do with the classic series. I'm taking a break from it, so I've literally put it in a box and I'm focusing on other things. So when I go back to it, which I will, probably not New Who, but Classic Who, definitely at some point I'll go back. But I needed to separate myself from it. And I know a lot of other people have had to do the same thing. It's the same thing as I did when Star Trek got canceled back in 2005. I took a break of probably about 3 years from Star Trek. And when I got back to it, I found I still love this show. I still love I don't consider New Trek Star Trek, but anything 2005 and prior, I went back to it a few years later. I'm like, I love this stuff. I can, the original series. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I've been watching it all my life. I still love it. I love the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine. So that's what I'm hoping happens with Doctor Who. I just put it away in a box because I didn't watch much Doctor Who in the late 90s like a lot of people either, because nothing was going on after the movie wasn't picked up, the 3 year span between that and when Big Finish started doing Doctor Who. So I've taken breaks before, but it's like I love the classic series too much to really have it involved or associated with this. So it's upstairs, it's in a box. I'm not burning them. I'm not getting rid of them. I just need to take a break. But I will be completely eviscerating everything to do with the new series. And I will be reviewing the festive special, because we can't say fucking Christmas anymore. Goddamn,
What is
2020.
What is that about?
It's about not
offending other people.
The core of everything is a insane hatred of any biblical value. And I know this is me being biblical. That's the way you get down to it. And you don't have to be religious to like a biblical value, like men and women being vaguely different, and people getting married. And
whoa. Men and women are different.
What? No, you're not.
Steady on, son.
Whoa.
I've been told otherwise.
I was going to come into this in a second. Problem being, I was talking about the online trolling of these new weird fans. The trick I find is to lean into everything they find deplorable and rub it in their face and do it with a laugh. And let me, if I may show you.
Nobody does that better than you, Rabbi.
Let me show you.
We all have our different philosophies, right? I prefer to use their own logic against them. Jeremy does it at Geeks and Gamers, as does it. That's the best. That's the most effective thing. Because they're so inconsistent. It's easy.
Oh, we do.
Single argument.
I managed to get their top guy
best
taken
thing
down.
to do is to not give a shit. That's right. I just don't
that's
give a
the big
shit.
one right there.
I don't get any of that. I do not understand why they hate Bulls Trek so much. I think he's a great YouTuber. I think he's a great guy, but he's a lightning rod. And
The only problem,
I got a whole bit. I've come to the conclusion that it's because I was the first one to call it out.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of.
So I'm just saying, these are my comments. Lean into everything that makes them crazy. So this is
God.
Oh dear, I like that. Does that make me? I guess I should hang my head in shame now.
You
Don't do anything by arms, Rabbi.
How offensive!
I'm a big fan of stormtroopers. That's all I'm going to say.
I want to point out to everybody watching this, according to the crazies that live out here, both these people on the screen that you're seeing in the thumbnail are equally feminine. No one is more feminine than the other. They're both women, and if you argue about that in any way, shape, or form, they lose their mind. And it's again, the more male gaze you go for, the better it is. It makes them crazy. And the other thing that always makes them crazy, if you can put a bit of the politicians they love in it in silly ways, that's great. It makes them go nuts. And I do find that, and they leave me alone because mostly.
But the problem is as well is that if we ignore them, it's not that they don't. It's not as though they go away. They find new ways. And the other thing,
out of them.
The other thing that they do as well is that they target people that they can easily pick off. And we've had people who have autism who have been ridiculed by these people. The same people who preach tolerance and inclusivity and all of the rest of it. When it boils down to it, if it's someone that they just decided for whatever reason they don't like, I'm the wrong type of gay, they're the wrong type of autistic, or the wrong type of dyslexic, they will go after you and they dehumanize you. They put you under this NMD, not my doctor label, and that's it. Once you're labeled that, it's easy prey. And it's that kind of, and there's 1,700 of them in this one hate group called Not My Doctor.
Yeah, but they got 50 sock puppet accounts each.
But it's like 1,700 of them, and they've tried to take Noel's channel down several thousand times, and they still can't do it. So it says a lot about them.
They had a campaign calling me a paedophile. Do you remember?
Yeah.
They had a campaign calling me a paedophile because I did a thing on my stream once where I was just like, I'm a bit of a dirty rabbi, and I enjoy being a dirty rabbi.
We love you, man. You're awesome.
Yeah. So I did this thing on TARDIS time. I think he's in the chat here. I said hello to him. Said TARDIS time is a good time. Then I started thinking, when would be a good time in TARDIS? And I started going through all the companions and going through which ones I think
Perry.
It was a different. I'll say, as I have something to show you.
Even at like 60, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is true. But because I said Victoria Waterfield, I reckon I could score with her. She's always scared. Bit of post PSTD. I think I can use that to get her into bed. They went crazy because Victoria said, "Wait a minute, she's 14 years old." I'm like, "No, she's Deborah Watling." And listen, I've also made jokes about coming on a Care Bear's chest as well. These things are jokes.
This is the man of a cloth.
A man with a cloth.
The cloth is so it's all good.
It's satin and
this is why we love you, man. You just never stop being you, my friend. Just
I do
you do what you want. You are awesome. Thumbs up to Rabbi.
As,
Dirty Rabbi.
You're a bit of a fan of Perry, right? You like Perry?
Yeah, very much.
Oh, you like this?
Yeah.
You love this. If you could throw that up.
Oh, for God's sake.
Seriously.
Everybody's laughing.
Oh, don't be encouraging them. They get worse. By the way, they get worse.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to some super chats here.
Line what line?
Just leave it. Put the picture up and go to the super chat. I think it'll be great viewing.
Did I miss it? I think I missed it. What did I miss?
There you go.
Listen, I got an Indiegogo coming out. If you go to the
hello, Perry.
you get one of these 4 cards called For the Male Gaze. For the Male Gaze. So you got Perry is one. I think my favorite one. We have Judge Anderson. You have a James Bond one, Keeping the Bridges End Up. And a bit of Space 99 fans party like it's 1999. So anyway,
you're such a paedophile.
So anyway, you get one of these cards if you sign up for my Indiegogo. But you mentioned Perry, and yes, I listen. As you and I were both roughly the same age in '82, when a very, very healthy looking Nicola Bryant was.
Right, can we just have a look between the rabbi and myself? The same age. Same age, you said.
Well, how old are you?
Not 65.
I'm not 50 yet.
Wait a minute.
Okay, my beard's long. I haven't had my
Rabbi, you're not 50?
I've lived a very fun life. Let me tell you, Az, I've lived a very fun life.
Look at that face.
I'm not 50 yet, mate. What's up with you? How old are you? You're in the 40s, aren't you?
Me, sir, never ask a lady her age.
Separated at birth, after birth.
How old are you, Rabbi?
I am 49.
You're 49.
I'm older than you. I'm older than you.
We're not the same age.
I'm the oldest one here.
What?
I am the oldest one here. I am
true.
the oldest one here.
Yeah, you look younger than all of us.
I'm
55. I'm 55.
Oh, fucking hell, Dean.
Yeah,
no,
good.
dude.
Yeah.
I got good genes from my parents, so there you go.
I know.
Virgins.
You know what they say? Genes from your parents, you look young when you're older.
The classic coup for me was tainted for a few months.
I remember. That's why I didn't watch it.
It actually makes me sad when I hear Az and Ballstreck say, the things that they say, but I can understand it because I felt like that. And still sometimes I do feel like when I'm watching a classic episode, it always pops into me head, that Timeless Children always pops into me head. And as is right in some ways, and Ballstreck, it kind of does. It's hard. I know some people, it's been easier for them to kind of separate them, put them in their little boxes and not let New Who, but it's a daily struggle for me still to this day. I mean, there'll be some days where I can sit there and enjoy a classic episode, and there'll be days I'll put one on and I'll be halfway through the story and then I'll just break down. I'm literally, because as you know yourselves, I kind of wear me heart on my sleeve. I was devastated after the Timeless Children, and a few nights back we watched an adventure in space and time. And again, I broke down at the part of the scene where Hartnell's at the fireplace. And I know it's all dramatized, but I could just picture it in my head where he says, I don't want to go. And then I see where the series has gone. And I'm just thinking his legacy, along with all the other guys, is being destroyed right in front of our eyes. And I do feel helpless as a fan. Yeah, we keep talking, we keep it out there in the public. But I feel helpless. I wish there was something more we could do, because BBC have to start listening before there is no show to save. I mean, on the anniversary, as Lee rightly pointed out, they chose to show the Timeless Children instead of celebrating Hartnell, Troughton, Pertwee, and all the other doctors.
That's all that was.
Yes, it was. You're right.
All that was. Or how you guys do it, that's what it was.
You're right. It was. It was a big FU to the fans. This is where we're basically, but the fact that they did this makes me worried, and I'll tell you why. Number one, if they're still going along with this, okay, and they're still supporting this, well then, there's something going on behind the scenes. Maybe Chris Chibnall is not leaving after Series 14 and he's going to stay on for Series 14. And maybe Whitaker is the one that's going to be sacrificed, because why would they still support this if he's leaving? They wouldn't give a crap, because they haven't gave a crap about a trailer for the special for how long have we been crying out for a special? For the trailer, it was made a year ago. We know it's been in the can a year, and we've been waiting for a trailer since, and now they're only dropping it tomorrow.
Anybody wants a trailer? Is anybody looking forward to this trailer? I
don't
couldn't give a flying.
Actually, I gotta tell you, the talking goat is really excited for the trailer. I'll just leave it there.
Do you know what frightens me most? Do you know what frightens me most is the fact? Well, is part of Noel's rumor that Chris Chibnall could be slated as the new showrunner for Blake 7.
Oh no.
I got a statement from Chris Chibnall here. Just give me just a second. If this comes up.
This be fun. Is it real?
Look upon my work and despair.
I'm not going to explain how I did any of it, but look upon my work.
Yeah, exactly. How did he destroy Gallifrey? I mean, why didn't he just do that like ages ago? Like,
when I just finished up with this, though, to Az and Ballstrek, I'd just like to say to you two guys especially, look, for me, the reason why I still watch it, I can understand why you have kind of you think the way you think, but I can tell you is this, right? Because I was truly devastated, and everybody on the panel that joined me that night will tell you. There's a few here. It does get better. I mean, you will watch Classic Who and you will smile again. Chris Chibnall will not take that away from you. And the thing about it is as well, guys, is that don't let these fans that bully, troll you, take it away from you either. I mean, you've, as you said yourself, not just financially, but emotionally, you've had an attachment to this show for a very long, long time. Don't let them break that. Just set.
I don't give two fucks what fans think. They don't affect anything.
I know.
They don't affect anything about how I feel about anything.
I can understand where you are coming from. It just annoys me that Chris Chibnall has done this to make you guys and make us all feel the way we feel. And all he had to do was look. He didn't.
But it's not Chibnall. This is an inherent BBC problem.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
it's institutional. And I will say though. Sorry, Gary.
It's all right. Go on.
I was just going to say, what's made me more emboldened and more strident with my love for Classic Who, and I think it's really down to Noel, because if it wasn't for Noel's channel, because I was in the wilderness like a lot of us were, us without channels, and so we were sort of, I discovered you, Gary, and discovered Noel, and discovered everyone else, as it's progressed, pretty much everyone here, but it was Noel's watch-alongs with the Classic era that we do on Saturdays, which is just really give me that, to hold on to, and the fact that we've formed a little community, and we can watch the episodes and love it and discuss it, and that is still alive, and there is nothing the BBC can do to take that away. And people need to remember that there is always pockets of this community. This is what the Fandom Menace is all about. It's what Gary's all about. It's what Az is all about. Bolstrek, Noel, Rabbi, and Mega Geek, and Dan, the Spacebook. Really support these guys, because these people have given me a home, given people within the community a space to be able to talk about these things without having to worry about the angry Twitter mob coming after us and saying all these shitty things. But it is, dare I say, a safe space for Whovians to enjoy themselves.
Tainted our language.
I know, right? The postmodern.
That's part of the point I want to make.
Yeah.
For one, like, it's a personal thing whether this has been taken away from you because of the shite. You can't unsee it. So whatever. I mean, the damage is done. So no, I don't think this thing ever comes back the way it was before. I think it had its peak.
No, never.
It's done. It's gone. Forget it. It can never be done again. The way entertainment is structured, it can't be done again. And again, this does not reflect anybody here on this panel. But the way I'm not going to be policed how I think. I'm not going to be policed on what I'm going to fucking say. So I have never had a problem saying doctor's not going to work as a female, and until I see otherwise, I'm right. It hasn't worked as a female. Maybe in a joke, but that's it. It just doesn't work because it was set up as a science fiction drama for boys that women liked. A lot of women liked the classic series. I mean, they've lost more female viewers than male viewers from the changeover.
Yep. And Gary, you and I have, this is something that we used to see slightly differently. Whereas my view had always been, I was okay with changing the gender as long as it made narrative sense. And over the years, we've kind of agreed to disagree on that. I have switched. After what I've seen, after thinking about it, I now support your point of view. I don't think the Doctor should be a female. They had one chance. They absolutely destroyed it. So I'll say it right now. The Doctor is a male character and should remain a male character. I'm not a fan of gender swapping anymore. I don't think there's a way at this point that they could find a way that makes narrative sense to change the gender of the Doctor, especially in current times.
The great Philip Hinchcliffe described the Doctor as an eccentric Englishman.
Yeah.
And I look, the Doctor's been male for over 50 odd years, and it worked. And there is nothing wrong with that.
No.
To say, oh, gender doesn't matter. Well, if it doesn't matter, then why change it?
Exactly. I said that in my very first review. If it doesn't matter, why does it matter? Why are you caring right now? It's all
the show's all about change, they say. No, it's not all about change. It changes once every few years. The show is about space and time travel and bug-eyed monsters.
But you're not a sexist. Nobody's a sexist if they want one fictional character to remain a dude. Right. We have all laid out alternatives. They could have done that. They could have made alternative shows that would have made more money, would have pleased more fans, would have actually grown the audience. They knew going in this would shrink the audience. They made this whole decision was made so they could call people sexist. That was their entire motivation for changing this character. Because if they actually believed in it, then they would talk about women's issues in this, because we are different, and they don't. They write Jodie as a dude. She is straight up a dude until she whines about, like, if I was a bloke, blah, 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 those couple lines, but that's it. I'm not going to read this article. But I'll put it out there. This was actually sent by a viewer, and it's Alexandra Marshall. Go follow her on Twitter. She wrote a whole thing in Penthouse on why swapping the gender is it just wouldn't work, and this really breaks it down in a very humorous way. And I'll share the link out in a second. I got to find out if I can, though, because this was like a blog that was up and then it was taken down, but it was in Penthouse fucking magazine in Australia decided to break out the logic, and it's a great article. So like once I get permission to share the link, I will. And it's good. And it's a good way of, pointing out this intersectionality bullshit that has us all like, can we say this word? And like, listen, everybody did it. I did it in the first. We had to preface our videos like, I have no problem with a female this or female that, and we shouldn't have to do that. We don't need to justify that. We got moms. We don't have problems with women. Okay,
constant disclaimer that we have to keep putting out.
The Doctor's a man. Fine. End of. It's fine.
Yep. You hate women. You hate this. You hate that. The amount of women. Well, I've noticed gradually, and not only is the fandom menace growing all the time, and more people who don't even count themselves as particularly big geeks or geeks with a big G are joining the fandom menace because they simply don't like what's been done. But I've noticed the feedback that I get mostly from doing the Type 40 podcast and all the stuff on social media. Gradually, since the Timeless Children, this is how far they've pushed it. It's that people who got on board with Jodie Whittaker, this is her fan base, your fan base, Chris, have joined the fandom menace because of the Timeless Children, because they thought that represented a betrayal of what they got on board for.
Yeah.
That's just 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago. They're already going through that revolving door and joining us and aligning themselves with the way that we feel, with being missold an entire sort of bill of goods, not being entertained, being called names, and not being allowed to speak. You know, the end result's always the same.
They don't like
I was in the same. I was in the same school of thought as Bell's Trek. I thought, okay, let's shake things up. Let's have a female. Let's see if it works. It could bring, breathe fresh life.
Mhm.
The viewing numbers were going down, and so it was an interesting experiment. I was all for it, particularly after seeing Missy, because Missy was played incredibly.
Love Missy.
And so I thought if that lightning struck again, then they could have something here. Seeing Whittaker in action, I'm absolutely convinced that no, the Doctor should be male. This dynamic of female Doctor does not work. Jodie Whittaker certainly isn't the right fit for the role. And the point is, there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, we tried. We don't think this dynamic works. We're going to return the format to how it used to be, which was certainly one which was working for 60 plus years, or coming up 60 years now. But no, it's when you get into the intersectional side, it becomes doubling down. And when you reject something, they want you, they will force it upon you again and again. So we didn't just get Whittaker as the Doctor, then we got the destruction of the male Doctors. And that's when you start to look at the vindictive nature of what was being done here and the insidious nature of what was being done here. Because suddenly, if we can't accept Whittaker, we're going to tear down Hartnell and Troughton and Pertwee, etc., etc. And so it really became a personal attack on Whovians. Because we rejected their current version, we're going to destroy your Doctor. We're going to destroy the ethos of your Doctor, the history of your Doctor. We're going to intersectionalize everything. We're going to turn and pervert and twist, and we're going to make you hate your own love.
Yeah,
which was
we
Doctor
want your
Who.
toys. We want your toys. We want your toys. We got your toys. Break the toy.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I don't think this was a reaction to our disgust with how awful it was. I think this was all part and parcel of the same package. That like they when they met with Chibnall said, so what do you see with Doctor Who? Said, well, firstly we got to make it relevant. We got to bring in other people like women and black people and Asian people.
Well, they've always been in Doctor Who.
They've never been in that
They've been in it for 30, 40, 50, 60 years.
Was planned at the same time. It seems obvious to me now. At the same time, bringing in Jodie Whittaker, they also wanted to destroy the history. Sorry.
New Who starts off 2005. You've got the Doctor, you've got Rose, and you've got Rose's boyfriend.
Right.
It's who's black. You've got Russell T Davies, who's writing it, who's gay.
Yeah.
You've got a production team which has a lot of gay staff too. This isn't a series which has ever been non-inclusive.
Exactly.
Ever been non-inclusive. It's always been and you go back to the 80s, you look at the cast of the 80s, it's always had a great variety in terms of representation.
Well,
as I said earlier, though, we didn't feel the need in those days to stick fucking white labels on people with what they are.
Verity Lambert, a Jewish
bloody
woman.
Gold stars, because that's
Verity
how it's
Lambert,
feeling.
a Jewish woman.
Morris
Hussain, who's a gay Indian chap.
Yeah, it's
but we don't have to label them. To us, they're just
They
actors.
were
They're
great
just
people.
actors doing their job, and they're entertainment for us. But now it's like a curtain call from a theater where they come on and they got to take a bow. My name's Such. I'm a Such. Everyone applaud me for being a Such. Oh, well
My
done.
pronouns
Such.
are.
Congratulations, Such. Right now we're going to bring on another Such. They're amazing. And this is how it goes nowadays. It's fucking pathetic.
It makes me cringe and embarrassed to be
You know out literally what they do. It's like, hello, I'm a Such. I like to put my penis in somebody that identify as somebody who doesn't put their penis in somebody. Thank you very much.
Clap me.
By the way, Whittaker, they're filming Doctor Who, as you know, in Wales. But Whittaker, a fan is at the actually spotting Jodie Whittaker in London today with our thumbs up with a cup of coffee in our hands. So if they're filming in Wales, why is she in London and why isn't she in Wales?
Because she might not be working today.
Yeah, it might be a Dr. Light episode, or God knows. Maybe Chibs forgot.
Maybe a Doctor
When you're
Free
filming,
episode.
you could be filming pickup shots. You could be
Yeah,
filming anything.
Yeah, because usually they do big set pieces first, which will involve other actors, and then they do more the studio-based stuff with the core cast. So, I mean, usually they do all the big
I
stuff.
think the vast majority.
She has a big smile on her face, giving her thumbs up like a clown.
Maybe it was a nice coffee.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of bottle episodes this season.
It was a caramel latte. It's a caramel latte. They are cheeky.
We're gonna get
there. Look.
Okay, super chat. Time for super chat. So we start out with Kip Ellis. Thank you for the $1.49 phallic unicorn. Just to back up all our sexism. And we know, just to reset that, a unicorn is a phallic symbol. That's what my sister told me, and I believe it. Christian Bagel for $10 says, "Hello, team RIP Doctor Who. Hey, Dan, reached out to Lady Greymaster, no response. We'll do it next time. Traveling TARDIS. Dan, Christian, you could DM me, dude, on Twitter.
Hi, Christian.
I got open DMs. So does Lady Greymaster. Yeah, what's up? Somebody say something?
Oh, no, I was saying, Christian, I'll speak to. Thanks for the message. Thanks for the shout out, Christian. Speak to you later.
Thanks for super chat. Traveling TARDIS just interviewed Ian. How do I pronounce his name? I can't. McNeice. Ian McNeice. Last week was a good day. That's good. Blank for $4.99. And how can man? Oh, sorry. And how can a man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? R.I.P. Doctor Who. Hell yeah. Doctor Who.
I think Jodie said she was socially awkward once, which was
she did
pretty much just as good as that.
I'm so shocked.
Our apology was pathetic as well. They don't care.
An apology.
It was a pathetic one. Now after the backlash, and they basically said that they didn't think it was disrespectful, and the creative team handled it basically with care and attention and all of this crap.
Basically, the message in that is, if you've got cancer, keep your mouth shut because you might make your friends socially awkward. Seriously.
Do you want to curb your doctor? Do you want to curb your doctor?
Do I want to curb my doctor or curb it?
Do you want to curb your doctor? If I put a curb your doctor up for you.
Oh, did you put it up where?
Yeah, I'll just.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was looking the Satan pit. Oh, here, I'll do this and I'll tell you my Satan pit story. Do it.
Right.
Oh shit! Hold on, I haven't fucking shared audio, have I? Fuck, damn it!
It's
Sorry,
okay.
Rabbi.
What?
I always do this.
He's apologizing to Father Christopher Miller in the.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, all right, here we
go. With it.
Are you ready?
I'm encouraging it.
I'm
You're
sorry.
not dirty enough.
To share this. No, I need to share.
Won't kill anyone.
Never be cruel, never be cowardly.
Wondered if you would take out me, take out these life forms, and yourself.
Yes, this time.
Go on then. For just a moment there, I thought maybe. So this is my penance. My journey ends here.
That's it, Mike.
Run, Doctor! Never be cruel, never be cowardly.
Quack, quack, quack.
A trail of farts.
Let somebody else die for
Never
you,
be cruel, never be cowardly.
And then she runs off like a little
right then, I will.
that she is.
You had to go and get stuck. Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
Oh, this scene.
I'm an old man, Doctor.
As you're
Well,
younger,
exactly. Look at you. But
I love
me,
this scene.
I could do so much more. So much more. But it's not fair.
Stop
Never be cruel, never be cowardly.
Oh, lived too long.
No, please don't. No,
Oh,
don't,
no,
please.
Wilfred, it's my honor.
Get me out of here.
I wish you had
socially awkward.
the magic wand, right? I wish it was a scientific experiment, like instrument.
Yeah, it's like a gun or something.
Killed you first.
Never be cruel, never be cowardly.
Home, sweet home.
You know, I've often wondered, and I think I got an answer about what is the connection between wokeness and things being awful, things being just
cowardice.
No, you know, no, it's not that. This is what my theory. You have to be a complete moron to believe woke agendas that, like, you know, we live in a fascist society where everybody's racist. Like, you've got to be a complete moron to believe that. And if you're a complete moron, you're probably a bad writer. You're probably. That's why I think it's the intersection between the two.
But you forget that they live in an echo chamber, and so when they say these moronic things, people go, "You're so right."
Yeah, they know.
Brave.
So right.
Oh my God.
And they just reaffirm each other. They reaffirm each other's stupidity, bigotry, racism, sexism, misogyny, and it just amplifies and amplifies until you get this explosion of wokeness, which is probably one of the most disgusting things we see on TV.
And you know what? They are the supremacists.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we got a worldview that is the inside of a bedroom. I mean, that's it. They don't go out. I mean, we used to have writers who used to go to fucking war and you know go to Alaska and go on, you know, climb, you know, Everest, and now we have people who look that up on Wikipedia, and there's no real life experience. So I think,
and these people show us. These people show us, like, to get us really excited for this new story. What are they gonna do? They release a fantastic picture of people sat around a beige table in a beige room looking depressed.
Oh, nothing encapsulated.
How could we tell which one was Yaz and which was the chair?
do you reckon this new trailer there's going to be
the chair was made out of metal, not wood?
Do you reckon there's going to be hardly any Jodie in this new trailer?
There'll be hardly any trailer. I'd say 40 seconds is about all you're going to get. And at least 10, 15 seconds of that is going to be the logo floating up at you.
Don't forget to subscribe to the BBC Doctor Who channel.
Your Orange is the new Black Doctor Who. So
Orange is the new cat.
Ruby Rose is going to fuck her.
You saw that poster, right? That Noel
Doctor Who meets Wentworth.
Yeah, you know, it looks like Orange is the new fucking Black. So that's exciting. I'm so excited for that. I hate the Timeless Children. It is the worst episode ever. Oh my God. Okay. If you guys aren't familiar with the Dr. 14 Blu-ray reviews, you might be, for £5. I think this is the first time he's ever agreed with me on something. So
Good
bless
man.
you. And good man. It is. Yeah. So I got emails from people going, I hated you until I saw the Timeless Children.
The same thing, man.
It was the same with Game of Thrones, right? You called it right from the beginning, and I was holding out up until that second or third episode, right? I said, yeah, it can still come together. You called it, you and Bowles, right? Called it like, oh my God, this is going to be the worst thing ever after that second episode, right? And it wasn't until you got to, what was it, the last one? Everyone went, yeah, I guess you're right.
Did you hear the? If you care about this, did you hear the big spoiler? That it was spoiled like on the 10th. I just found out about it yesterday. Huge spoiler from the book. So a lot of stuff that happened in the show is going to happen in the book. Cherie gets burned by Stannis. She does.
Oh, really? Well, that sounds like something
alive. So, and George R. Martin confirmed it. He also confirmed a couple other things. So I'll just say the disaster, maybe that's why he's taking his time writing the book, because maybe he's rewriting half of it because he saw it play out in the show and went, oh, fuck.
I gotta make this good.
Last season would have been fine if there was like another 20 episodes between each episode, like another 10 episodes between each. Like it was like they spaced that out and like build it up and had it made sense and stay in character and not be awful. It would have been quite good.
It should have gone for another 2 seasons to make
minimum,
to make use out of those characters and not end it in such a.
Yeah, but they didn't have the time because they're about to take on that great Star Wars trilogy.
Yes, that worked out so well.
It's funny how this played out. If you really think about it, if we go back to 2015, even with Doctor Who, none of us thought, like, we saw little things going in, but like, I'm a big fan of the modern series, and I'm like, it can get better. You know, this isn't good now, but it can get bit better. 2015, we were starting, you know, basically the streaming wars were setting up, and it looked like TV was going to be better than ever. Like, we were going to get these prestige series, and they were going to be great. And like fucking Game of Thrones was still awesome to a lot of people, and Doctor Who was brilliant, and Westworld had a good first season. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be reviewing so much good television, and look where the fuck we are now. We've got nothing. Like a I'm sorry, a very average Mandalorian is about.
I like Mandalorian.
It's average though.
I like it.
It's not bad. The Mandalorian is a 6.5. The Mandalorian is like that really solid girlfriend, you know, or boyfriend. You can go to the same way. Everything's solid about it, but you're just like,
okay,
I know what you mean.
Gary,
my life.
Two really great genre shows this year. I don't think you saw either of them. Raised by Wolves was just freaking insane, and it was really weird and different. And I love the adaptation of Brave New World, which
no, that was woke. How could you make Brave New World woke? I mean, they managed to do it.
100%.
It's like, can you imagine a woke 1984 rabbi?
Yep.
I mean,
it'll happen.
Actually wrong. He's 100% wrong.
No, I'm not.
Come to my channel. I'll watch it, but it's worth watching because it's
Utopia was good, but not as good as the UK original version. But it's still worth watching.
Chris Chibnall.
It's a bit woke, but it's
worth watching this year.
By the way, Chris
Brave New
Chibnall.
World and Raised by Wolves.
I'll put it this way: if I sniff woke within the first 5 minutes, I'm not wasting time on I gave up on a show. Legion. Legion is a show I reviewed on this channel. Told everybody to watch. Thought it was fucking great. Thought the first 2 seasons were fucking great. Got woke in the first 10 minutes. Never even finished watching it.
No.
When are you doing your review on Blade 7?
By the way,
after Picard, I can't do anything until after I'm done with Picard.
All right, I'll let you go on that.
But I'll do one, and then Az and I are going to do Babylon 5. We're going to do a watch along. What's
Yeah.
What was that, Noel? Chibnall?
Yeah, Chris Chibnall has confirmed that Tolson Cole and Bradley Walsh will be leaving their roles. And the guy that was in Arachnids in UK, what's his name? The one that played the Trump.
Yes, Chris Nuth is back.
Yeah, he's coming back as well.
You mean the Trump stand-in?
Yeah.
They all think they vanquished him there. By the way, I have to say, my theory with Wonder Woman, why they're dropping it on Christmas Day, I think it's a heavy Orange Man bad movie. Like a very, and they believe quite logically that by summer next year that's going to be stale and out of date. I think it might not be. I think it might be very relevant. I guess we're going to find out in this couple of weeks.
We're going to find out.
And they don't make money out of it because it's an Orange Bad Man movie, right? And they think they vanquished him, and they haven't, and they lose all that money again. That for me is just.
They're losing tons of money on it, and that's the Hollywood way. We made a hit that was inoffensive to everybody, so let's double down on it. And Gal Gadot, who was pretty much universally respected, has said some stupid shit lately. So you kind of ignore that. Like, everybody who isn't a feminist is a sexist. It's like, all right.
Well, that's like 90% of women.
She did with celebrities where we sang Imagine.
Pretender, just stick to the script and go enjoy your 5-star. Shut up.
In her defense, I am reasonably sexist. So, there is that.
Yeah.
She is gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. Just stay on the script.
Gorgeous.
That's right.
Between the ears. It's soft.
Gorgeous. Brave New World prizes of a lot of very attractive people having lots of group sex. Very, very well shot. Yeah, there is that.
Somebody stop him.
Now I see why he likes it. Okay, back to the super chats. Cleaner Ben for £5 says, Doctor Who is the bestest ever.
Hell yeah.
He used to be.
Girlfriend.
Slay Queen. Norwegian Kryptonian for 55 Norwegian krona. Come on, you painter, you piper, you prisoner, and shine. Oh, shine on, you crazy diamond. Putting that pig Floyd shit in here. I love it. Somebody brought up the Satan pit earlier. So I am such a, I love the new series as much as I love the classic up to a certain point. Fucking love it. I replayed it all the time in my shop. I set up a diorama. I'll find the picture. So I had a you remember Legend, Tim Curry as Darkness.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, Sideshow had a big 1-in-1 scale head of Darkness. So I had it in a store and I set up a diorama of the 10th Doctor up against the Darkness head. And I had they have the urns. There's the whole play set, and I gave it a background and everything, even to the point where we had we could do little flames. I had this little gas thing where we could have flames in between him.
Sweet.
God, you can't tell us about this and not show it us now.
I love this fucking show. and
was that the 5-inch Tennant, or did you get the
5-inch Tennant? No, the bigger one would be too big. No, it was actually to scale. If you do one,
man,
fantastic!
You geek, you.
How much I love this show. Like all the dollars on this, and then amplify it by 1,000. How much money they've lost?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, how many of you would have, if they would have just, I think Az was getting to this, if they just did the Jodie thing, they got a little woke, but they didn't fuck with the canon, and then they okay, we're gonna go back to a dude. I think most of us would have been fine with it.
Yeah, but they couldn't do that. They could not allow themselves to do that. This was their golden opportunity to do what they're always doing, deconstructing the hero and removing that stale pale male patriarchy and reducing it to nothing, and then saying, well, we were here first. That's it.
But they weren't, were they? Doesn't matter
but they were. In their minds, they were. That's all that matters.
Nothing came before them because they have no conception of anything outside themselves.
Behind every weak man was a great woman.
Do you reckon they're going to get that little black girl to say that speech that Hartnell did? Do you reckon?
We can't give them lines. We can't give them lines.
Why do you have to put things like that out there in the world, Ian?
You just get to look. You just get to look at them. That's all you get to do.
They're just going to fall nonchalantly off a cliff. That.
If Taeyong doesn't get a line, then
oh yeah, that one.
Off a cliff. Oh, it's a joy.
That's
Taeyong stands there, doesn't say a line because we don't have to pay that much now.
I'm sorry, but if you find a lost kid near a giant portal, right? What do you try and do? Do you take them home and experiment on them, or do you try and get them back home?
You look for their parents. That's what you do when you find a lost child. You look for the parents.
Exactly.
I take the kid home. I murder him repeatedly so I can steal the genetic code and become the father of a race. That's what I would do. But that's the one guy for you.
You madman! You madman!
I'll change myself into a male so you can go bloody fucking men.
Yeah. They made their mistake. They should have had her. Well, they couldn't have, but they woke themselves into a corner. They wanted to show the strong female, but they also needed to show the patriarchy, and colonizing, appropriating that culture at the same time. And they went, shit. Okay, we'll just do it with a white woman. We'll have to settle.
We got a white woman, and then we just went and changed her into a black dude, and these are the people that were just committing a mass genocide. Fuck!
Yeah.
It's like, it's progressive. It's okay, Z's.
Because of a bunch, because of some bloody woman who lost the bleeding plot, and basically experimented and murdered a child, not just once, but multiple times, because she didn't know. Think about it. The first time she actually killed that child, she didn't know whether that child was going to regenerate again. So think about it. She did that several times. right? And that's what Chris Chibnall is telling us is the Time Lords now. That's how the Time Lords came about. I'm sorry if that's your explanation, mate. That's not good enough. Listen. I was like all Doctor Who fans. We didn't want to know everything about the Time Lords. It's a bit like you like that mystery surrounding them. We know just enough about them, I think, to keep us interested in them. We don't want a bloody origin story. He's a moron. That's what he is. He's a hack. Everybody should have seen this coming when he wrote episodes for RTD's era and Moffat's era. They were absolutely diabolical, every single one of them, right?
Oh, no, I can't believe you just said that. Everyone loves an origin story. Speaking of which, everyone sees Solo here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, I love that movie. That was awesome.
So well. So well.
I was a film extra in that film.
The injury when he bastardized them, he puts them into Cybermen, and then the thing that he wants us to then believe that you can actually use dead human flesh now and convert them into cyber lords that can regenerate. Get away! He's bastardized.
How can they regenerate if they're dead?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't explain it either.
And those ears that they had.
Nothing was explained. Nothing whatsoever was explained. It doesn't need to be explained. It just needs to be changed.
Hail panelists, you are all awesome. First, I agree with everything you all will say today, most likely. But we'll have to jump off early and watch the rest later. Hope you do it again after the festive special. This is Rossi G112 for $19.99. Thank you very much, and please remember these go to Nerdrotic Live when they're done. So
we love Rossi.
$5. The sad reality is that Doctor Who could be saved even now. I disagree. Unfortunately, the people who could do the job will not be allowed to, and that's it's all willing. It's all willing.
Yeah,
they could have made a Doctor Who show. I said this about James Bond. Need to make a fucking James Bond movie. You know, he sleeps with a couple women, kills a few people, beats the bad guy. You made $600 million, but no. Stay in your lane, Bond.
Well, that's actually. I mean, look, we had Russell T Davies doing 3 shows on the go at the same time without any year breaks here and there. He had Doctor Who, Sarah Jane Adventures, and Torchwood. And Chibnall can barely churn out 10 episodes every 2 years.
It's 8
I don't think
it's down to 8.
It's 8 now, right? Because of the inverted commas coof, right? So,
but remember, that Doctor Who is an essential service.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
It's well worth getting your TV license for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love paying to be lectured to.
That's the biggest joke of all, but that's the sad thing about it. This show used to be revered, right? There was one time that it was embarrassing to tell people you are a Doctor Who fan. 7 years ago.
It's called 2020.
Yeah, but 7 years ago this week, a photo popped up on my Facebook feed, and it was of the 50th anniversary when my brothers got me a ticket and surprised me to bring me to see this anniversary thing in the cinema. There was people literally coming out of the cinema after just watching it, and they left us queuing right there to go into the cinema. And here we all were on this side. No spoilers. They didn't. Not only did not do that, I seen men, women, little girls, little boys, all dressed as their favorite Doctor, all sitting. They were all coming out, big smiles on their faces. At that time, the 50th anniversary, that whole year, it was the proudest thing to announce that you are a Doctor Who fan. Not only was it a proud thing, the show was at a height that we've never seen before. And 7 years later, look at it. It's only taken 7 years to get to this point. That's the shocking thing about it. 7 years. And in a minute and a half.
It's not taken 7 years. It's taken less.
Well, in a minute.
Taken from the start of Whittaker's run to here. So what, 3 years?
Well, no, we're only. It may seem like forever, but we're only a little over 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
But here's the thing: in a minute and a half, seeing that timeless where he did the whole flashback and stuff, that's where he destroyed it. Right? It took him a minute and a half. He did what took J.J. Abrams and the other guys. It took them 3 movies to kill the Star Wars franchise. It took him a minute and a half to kill the Doctor Who franchise forever.
Yeah. I think Gary needs to get through these super chats. Though
Yep.
he's got like 10 minutes.
He
So
does.
let's let
10
him
minutes
run
to
with
go.
it.
So,
Run with it.
Way over, but thanks, Riff Magos, for $5 Australian. As someone who enjoyed Doctor Who since 1976, Doctor Who was dead. Rest in peace, John Pertwee and Tom Baker forever. Care for it, Jerry, baby.
I agree.
Oh my God, we got to get Java Bean on, this Australian friend of ours. He's a viewer. He does the best Tom Baker impression I've ever heard. Alpha Omega $10. Could you please just give us good stories with good acting again?
No,
No,
Important.
That's the thing. It seems to be difficult.
you need to be educated. Sorry.
Yep, it's way more important. No, that's why they wanted to create conversations, and they wanted to continue. You know, that we had the Doctor Who clubs at schools, and they'll continue to send people out to talk about intersectional feminism. To
When you hire soap opera writers, you get a soap opera. End of.
That's it.
One of the best panels ever. Hail, experts all, says Lord Thoth for 2 Canadian pesos. Great, thank you, Lord Thoth.
Hello, Canadian.
And one Canadian. Yeah.
International mostly. A fish by any other name for 10 Australian dollars. Time Lord Fire seems to have gone out a while ago. The only fire is us still being pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Butterbiscuit 92 for $5. How dare you stream during Geeks and Gamers Saturday stream? The sacred, that's sacred, like Friday Night Tight. Just kidding. Guess I'm late and gay. Thanks for making the day better, guys. You are welcome, Butterbiscuit. They were talking about games over there. I don't game, so.
No, nor do I.
I'm a bit of a gamer myself. I play Warzone, but yeah, I'm a bit of a noob, but I try.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up Witcher 3 one of these days and really suck at it publicly.
You enjoy it more, though. I have to be honest.
A coin to you, Gary. Oh, nerdrotic of glasses.
Or Nerdaholic. Jamie for $5. They wrote Capaldi to make him look bad to smooth the road for the female doctor to come. I liked him.
They did.
Around the companion. They did write him around the companion. That is no.
That's a fair point. I never.
Well, they even made one of the episodes with her eyes instead of Capaldi's eyes in the opening titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the whole
Clara. Her name came first, Jenna Coleman.
Yeah, we had the whole Clara Who line. Clara Who. Do you remember that? And our own TARDIS getaway.
You know how hard it is to make you hate Jenna Coleman, who's like hot thing ever, and she's got a good personality, and they just really had to work hard to make me. I couldn't stand her.
Yeah.
I know it was you, Chibnall. You broke my heart, says Father Christopher Miller for $2.
Good one, Father Christopher Miller.
Can't watch now, but looking forward to catch up. Hail. There's Java Bean right there for $2.99. Oh, you're probably too busy being oppressed by your Australian government right now. So.
Join the club.
Yep. Hey, are they still protesting over there in the UK? Lockdown?
I think they were protesting in London, weren't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and the police tried to shut them down. Thousands of them.
It's happening.
They socially distant.
People have lost their shit, man. They're, I mean, look, the government. At the end of the day, make up your own mind. They're letting the people in the UK, like, you know, they're saying you have to stay in lockdown, but over the Christmas period, they're going to let them have a few days. It doesn't make sense. You either open up or you stay lockdown. 4 days they're giving them. 4 days. In Ireland, we're protesting as well over here. People are not happy. They want their Christmas. They want their families.
I thought the lockdown was ending before Christmas. I thought you were all going to be on.
Yeah, but we're going into tier system.
Yeah, which is pretty much locked down. If anybody who's in tier 3 is pretty much in lockdown. I'd say that's how I really
tier 3.
Yeah, me too.
We're in tier 2.
You're good. No, you're bad.
We're in the equivalent of tier 3. What restaurants can be open out. That's going to end within a few days. So,
I guess I'm faring the best here. No, we still have our freedom, unless you live in Toronto. Yeah, it's like the UK, but thank God I'm not there. So I could still go outside, but I can't not wear a mask, or people will shoot you.
Yeah, it's getting crazy over here. People reporting people. for not wearing masks.
Really?
People reporting people for having house parties. It's gone ridiculous. That's the one thing I don't like about this.
Well, it's a generation of SS officers being recreated.
Yep.
The people reporting on each other, like, what are you?
Stasi. It is Stasi politics. And that's exactly where we're heading.
Like, I wear a mask, but I don't give a flying crap if someone out there says that they don't want to wear one. That's their choice, and they're entitled to that choice. I just choose to wear one because for me, I do have medical conditions like my wife, so I choose to wear one just for her safety and for my safety. It mightn't do any good. It could be a load of bollocks, but I choose to wear it. Someone chooses not to. Fair play to them. They can do whatever they want. Just make up your mind, governments. We're either in lockdown now or we're not. Right, because businesses are going out of fucking. You see them closing down all the time. You have to make up your mind now, because like I'm getting sick and tired of. I want to be out there. I want to be able to go to the pub. I don't give a shit at this stage now if I catch it. I just want to be able to enjoy my life. I don't want to be sitting. I'm 41 years of age. I don't want to be stuck in my home for another year or two because of this. Do you know what I mean? That's no way to live. We can't move. We're not allowed. We're not allowed. We have to even. It's so bad here now that we even have to wear a mask in an elevator. We have to wear a mask everywhere. It's just gone ridiculous. But yeah, they're talking about letting us have a few days with our family. It just doesn't make sense. You either open up or you stay locked down. Make up your fucking mind.
Do you think they'll let us wear a mask over our eyes for watching this festive special?
Yeah.
Well, that's the point as well. Like, masks are one thing, but they say that particulates can go through your eyes anyway. So I mean, unless everyone's walking around with hazmat suits, it's nonsense.
They go through your freaking nose. They go through your eyes, especially. Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Bob Lewis for £5. The Phantom Menace is banned from Barry Island for being anti-BBC.
Wow.
No, we'll never survive that one being banned from Barry Island.
Exactly. That's the same guys. That's the same guys. The 14 Doctor reviews or whatever. It's I know exactly who that is. Yeah. He promised me yesterday when I was on your stream, wrenching, that he was not going to be trolling anymore.
Oh,
bless him.
He's the troll. I think he gets the troll, quite frankly.
He wants the troll for £5. Cool. I mean, actually, that's
check your bank balance. That's all I'll say. Check your bank balance.
The money, take it. For
$2, the new TARDIS, a gender studies classroom. That's idea.
Fair. That's fair.
SJ Almighty for £5. If the TARDIS is a camper van and the Doctor can regenerate into animals, I'm thinking franchise mashup. Dr. Scooby-Doo.
It's already Scooby-Doo, isn't it?
It kind of is.
I like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I do too.
That's true.
For £5. It's possible they could explain that 13 wiped Jack's memory. Probably. I don't care. I mean, like, Jack, they're going to come in and fuck up the character of Captain Jack. Like, they're one of the most.
He'll be unrecognizable.
Oh man, if she is,
there's not an explanation that can get us out of this.
Come on.
I want an explanation.
The explanation is this isn't our universe. Let's go back to ours now. Hi, Capaldi. How you doing? I'm doing good. Thank you very much.
If they land on a planet that looks like Earth and we see a bunch of Zeppelins in the sky.
That's it.
That's the way to go.
That's it. That's the way to go.
If this was a multiverse, could Baldstreck forgive what's happened?
No, I'll get on with it, but I'm not forgiving what Chibnall's has done.
There is a way out.
Chibnall's divided this fandom and everything.
I think we're still going to be rightly pissed off with this guy, even long after he's gone.
No, they really don't believe what we're saying. Like
I'll never forgive.
How can they not believe it? I mean, look, Gary, they have the data that they know how unpopular this is. They know how much it's felt.
No,
they don't want to believe it.
No, Rabbi. Their attitude is there is just a bunch of racists out there, and we don't need them.
I guess.
Mark C for $10 from 2017 2019. I told my family about the SJW infestation, and they looked at me like I was a conspiracy wacko. Yeah, Mark, welcome to the club. Now they've been thrown into the culture war. Scared. I just tell them, welcome to the party. Yep. And that's what we have been trying to do across YouTube, hundreds of channels, thousands of people in the chat saying, wake the fuck up. And that's that's the reality of the situation. For whatever reason, most people are kind of low information as far as their news. I was like that way too. And you just like you read a byline, a headline. Now we all have to do work. Like I said earlier on, this is our fight. And are we going to roll over? Are we going to let the government steamroll over and this symbolizes it. Doctor Who symbolizes it. It's practically a government show that turned into propaganda, that doesn't care that they lost the majority of the fandom. You know, Svi's right. There is more of us than there are of them.
Yeah. It's like my dad, who's been watching Doctor Who since the 70s and stopped watching during the Matt Smith era, and then just happened to catch it on our Sci-Fi channel earlier this year, and it happened to be Orphan 55. So my dad, I'm like, so I watched Doctor Who yesterday. What the fuck happened there? I'm like, my videos, Dad. I'm like, I've been covering this.
Yep. No, none of my family watched my
dad's been watching since.
Yeah, mine either.
My son finally is watching. Like your live streams are too long, but I like Nerdrotic Daily. So yeah, he watched the Alyssa Milano clip. I'm so proud of my boy. So right, he watched that, and yesterday he's like, "Dad, can I rewatch it?" I'm like a little tear got my eye. I'm like,
All the clips you're putting on Nerdrotic Daily.
What was that?
How long are the clips you're putting on Nerdrotic Daily? Like, what's going on with that?
So it's little clips out of my live streams. So to refer to what you were talking about way early on, we were talking about rumors, right? So I know that a lot of rumors, because you were talking about this, a lot of people speculate, and this is not related to Knowles. This is actually related to some Star Trek and Star Wars stuff. But a lot of people speculate in live streams. That's what we do. That's part of our job. Well, some people like to take these speculations and turn them into rumors on Reddit. So for posterity, everybody, because not everybody watches a live stream. We talk about a lot of stuff and it's buried 2 or 3 hours in. I'm like, I don't know. Joe Rogan does it. I mean, I'm no Joe Rogan or Tim Pool, but I'm going to start taking these clips and put them up for posterity. And what I do is, Perry kind of picks whatever he wants to pick. But I have noticed that things that I have spoken about in live streams, it's pure speculation, and others, because I watch a lot of other live streams, pure speculation, have ended up as on Reddit as inside sources. So it's the first time I've said this publicly, but I've noticed it for like 2 years now. And it's been going on, and it's happening to all of us and everyone who does a live stream. Somebody comes in there and takes one of our theories, rewords it a little bit, and calls it an inside information. So
yeah, the rabbi started a major rumor a few weeks ago, didn't you, mate?
What was that? What was that one? I forgot.
That was the one. That's the one about the police box. You started that.
Oh, yeah, I did. That was right when all the BLM stuff was kicking off, and I did a thumbnail about it. And about a month later, it was a Reddit rumor. Yeah, it happened.
It happens all the time. So my dad in Aussie has always thought that Doctor Who is the pinnacle of sci-fi. Tom Baker's Doctor is basically a saint in our house, says Gerard Garvin for $7 US. Agreed. I Tom Baker as the British William Shatner, or vice versa. He's a god, and that was my first introduction when I was a kid at PBS. They were playing that, at Faulty Towers when I was a kid, Monty Python, and but my gateway was Hitchhiker. So Hitchhiker was my gateway into being just loving all things British. And, later I found out that Hitchhiker and everything Douglas Adams did was pretty much rework Doctor Who. It was
he was a script editor at the time, so I guess it kind of makes sense.
No, but exactly with Shada and I mean, come on. But I love it. Jack White for $5. I hope you get back together with Meg. I really like the White Stripes. I thought they were good. SJW's the perfect example of why people need to discipline their kids when they act obnoxious. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely agreed. We have a whole generation of kids right now where if we didn't have this dip in the economy, who probably would have never left their parents' house. It would have been a return to the 1800s, except, when you needed your kid to work on the farm, the kid just would have never left because dad's doing great and they've never had a desire to work. I think that's going to change now, but that's the way we're headed, and no strife in their life. And we're starting to see it in the writing. They're hiring young writers, young women and men are the marketing directors at Warner Brothers. They're 25 years old, fresh out of university, and they don't know shit. I mean, and not in the old man, get off my lawn, I'm going to yell at a cloud kind of way. Like, they really don't know shit.
Overeducated idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
I miss the 90s, man.
Me too. God, take me back.
80s, mate. The 80s for me.
I remember the 80s, but I was too young. But I do remember the 80s, and the hair was as bad as you think.
I really enjoyed the 90s and the 80s, and I remember the 70s too. Which were
so do I.
These were complete shit. So
I remember 77 onwards. I think that's my earliest memories. So I'd have been about 2.
Dirty Rabbi for $5. Alex, where do knights go to repent? Dirty Rabbi. There you go. Dr. Essex for $5. Phrasing it like Star Weaver for $10. All hail Gary. I have a question. I wrote a sci-fi book and self-published it a few years ago. If I sent you a free copy, would you give it a read and critique honestly for me? I can if it's a short book. If it's a long book, I cannot promise I get, because I've got a stack of books I've got to go through, but absolutely, if you want to send it in my P.O. box, and if it's like a little, Target novel, I can get through it in a day. But if it's like, Lord of the Rings or George R. Martin, I can't. Yeah, that's John's, but thanks. And I would try to get it back out there again. This is the era of self-publishing. So if you got some old work, dust it off, guys and gals, and put it out there. John Smith for $1.99. Rabbi, have you ever seen, oh my God, I don't know what this is. Eretz Nehederet?
Oh yeah. It's a political satirical program in Israel. My Hebrew isn't good enough to get it. My kids like it. My kids enjoy it. Some of my kids like it. But yeah, it's a satirical program. On politics.
Okay, I had to refresh. Sorry. We can go for like 5 more minutes. I'm going to be in so much trouble. I'm supposed to go out to dinner with
long 10 minutes.
Erotic. Well, welcome to streaming. 200 Watch Studio for $2. Good to you guys. How? I don't know how you're answering this question. All right. Okay, gotcha. To you guys, how woke will Eccleston's BF? Good to you guys. How woke will be Eccleston's?
Is Big Finish. I'll answer that. It's going to be a fucking clusterfuck made by the company formerly known as Big Finish, now known as Complete and Utter Shit. Sorry, I had to. It's gonna be awful.
Eccleston's entire motivation to come back is money. I mean,
yes,
it wasn't love of the series; it was money.
Yep, certainly was.
Yeah, exactly. He comes back to New York Comic Con. Jeremy recorded this. I fucking lost my fucking shit on the stairway at New York Comic Con, and he recorded the whole thing. I'm like, how can this fucker come back and then charge for autographs? Charge $90 for autographs. He told the fans to fuck off. He told the fans to fuck off in the 50th anniversary. And if he was being a true artist and true to himself, I would respect that. And I did respect it at the time. He's like, he's done with it and he's not going to come back. But if that asshole ever comes back and wants to, like, all of a sudden be cozy with Doctor Who because his career goes sideways, guess what happened? He fucking comes back.
It's the coup, isn't it? It's money because he's an out-of-job actor, because there's no stage work, there's no other work available, and his name has been muddied the BBC since whatever happened. So obviously he's going to take this kind of work.
Look, I love Doctor Who so much. I'm such a crazy optimist. I'm waiting until I see who's writing it. or I'm going to wait until they drop the first one. I've already bought them anyway, so it's happening. So I'm going to review them, but I'm hoping it's not going to be bad. I'm hoping it's going to be okay.
Yes,
they do some good stuff. They tested a very good War Master set where it was like Heart of Darkness, like Apocalypse Now.
Well, send me some of the stuff that isn't terrible.
Oh, okay, fine, no problem.
Yeah. Nicholas Horton for £5. Those Daleks are effeminate. At least the Paradigm Daleks still looked menacing. Yeah, you mean the M&M Daleks?
Yeah, they were butch gay Daleks.
They were butch, yes.
Yeah.
Gary, if you want to share, I have those pictures of the Daleks from the special. If you want,
give me just.
Oh my god!
We'll end it on that. You are describing classic bullying. Who was taken over by bullies who wanted to get even for some internal reason only they know. Sad, says Ballistic Man Glue for $5.
And the fans are bullies too. The fans of this era that love this era, it's pandering to a bunch of psychotic bullies online. That's it.
Yeah, psychotic, mentally ill people in a tiny minority that's
very tiny.
Terrible problem in itself with
about this era,
mental illness and issues. But no, let's target that group. That's a fucking great idea.
And unfortunately, BBC condone it all by their silence. And
possibly go wrong.
Exactly. Sounds like printing money. Phallic Unicorn from Scottish Nerd for £1.49. Thank you very much. Good to see you, Scottish Nerd. Crow T Robot from the Satellite of Love for $5. I feel like I'm at a wake, and I'm one of the mourners. You are. You are stuck at home.
That's what's going on, mate. Yes.
Anyone curious as to what Az's notification is for?
What?
Nerd, what did we get notification from Az?
What notification?
I don't know what that's referring to. Scott,
is it when you shared your video earlier on?
Maybe that was a good video. I loved it. Scottish Nerd, give me context to that in the chat. Just hit @nerderotic. Sorry if I. It's probably something to do with what we were talking about 10 minutes ago and drugs in the 80s. Okay, my memory.
I was there in the 90s.
So that's good. I'm amongst friends. Nicholas Horton, £5. Every mechanoid is female. And the third episode of the terrible animated shit. And somebody asked about that, like the newer animated stuff. I haven't watched all of it yet.
Let me give you an idea of what the first episode was. It was exterminate, we won't surrender. Exterminate, we won't surrender. Exterminate, we won't. That was the first episode. And it ended on
you're missing out the awful animation and the terrible agenda-driven casting. They have the mechanoids played by the woman who played was it from the Sarah Jane Adventures, Angelina Jolie, which is fine, right?
Angelina Jolie.
You mean Angelina Mahindra?
That's the one. Completely, she does a lot of voice stuff. She was completely miscast as the voice of all the mechanoids. Doesn't convince her. Everything about this animation is that will do, and we really
third rate.
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah, fan made stuff so much better. Go and watch Dalek Tales instead.
Yeah. And the animation is 9-10 years old, and it's far superior as well.
Oh yeah.
The only way, if this changes, and I'm very, very skeptical it will ever. But if this changes, the only way we can change it, it's a mantra. You got to cancel your license. You got to stop buying Doctor Who shit firsthand. You got to stop right now. But you love it. As much I've had to listen. I love collecting the big chief figures. I fucking think they're beautiful. But no, and they're hard to get. If you don't order them firsthand, they're gone. And that you don't another one again.
I wanted that master so badly. But yeah, I didn't.
No, there's a Capaldi out there it's basically a different jacket. And the cheapest one I saw was $1,200, and I didn't pull the trigger. Never seen one again. And but no more. Just like the War Doctor says, no fucking more. You cannot give them money. If you want to buy shit, buy it secondhand. Go help a bloke or a lady on eBay. You're helping a small business. You're not giving your money directly to the BBC. Do not give them money. if you keep doing that, then I mean you're killing your own show.
Well, they're getting money from China now anyway, aren't they?
They're getting money from this Dalek animation. There's some fans in the chat saying just because it's not better animation doesn't mean people should dislike it, and you don't have to pay to watch it. Well, BBC monetize it, so you are actually giving them money when.
Yeah, they got adverts on that, like nobody's
They
business.
got adverts on it. And secondly, you know, Doctor Who fans, you know, they've waited a long time for something of quality, and this just isn't good enough anymore. I mean, we're not going to settle for second best anymore because
it's half-assed. It's like they can't be bothered. Why should we?
Yep.
And it's actually rubbish. Go and watch it yourself. It's actually rubbish. It's the dialogue. It's like a 5-year-old. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Chibnall wrote it, but he put someone else's name on it. Here, you take the credit.
A brand. I mean, your brand. This is your sacred brand. And if you're signing stuff like that off on it, that shows you exactly. I mean, that's how they feel about it. They think this is a silly, dumb thing, and they don't deserve it anymore. But they own it. They're never going to get rid of it. And I don't know if any company, like I would say there would be a time an American company could do better because they would at least give a shit about making money, but they would bastardize the fuck out of it. It would be terrible. It has to be British. All British people should be running Doctor Who. There should never be an American person involved whatsoever. Not even in catering.
Zero tolerance. Well, Gary, you do realize that has permanently discounted at least two of us from ever being involved, but that's okay.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay.
No, Streck, you're Canadian. The guy created Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, that's right. I get a caveat there. Okay, so I can be involved then. Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
and you still got the crown as your official head of state. So you know
that's right. Yeah,
you were sensible enough to keep that.
On my money, on our court summonses. Yeah.
What about Peter Dinklage as the Doctor? That we moved on from
that's Gary's idea.
I know.
And there was that Canadian, that American writer who was told not to darken the hallways of BBC again. I thought he would have been quite good.
Joe Hill.
Yeah.
Studies show that cloth masks
Stephen King's son.
Yeah. Nah, he would have been terrible.
Really?
Worse than Chibnall. I don't know.
What's American?
We've got a very, very low bar here now, Gary. Remember?
John for $1.99 says studies show cloth masks don't work. Well, I mean, it depends on the cloth mask, but yeah, there's a vape study online where a guy sucks a vape and fucking blows it out. You know what?
Chinese made, by the way.
It would have been better to not have a mask. I think less smoke would have come out.
Made in Wuhan.
Nicholas Horton for £5. I agree with Gary. Victoria and Clara should have been the doctor's companion. That
absolutely.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, 100%. I said that as well.
The governor. Yeah, she was. I was gutted when she died at the end. I was like, oh, because I knew then we were just going to go to current day and get current day companion.
We had a different Clara for each of our 3 series anyway.
The Snowman has the best fucking scene when she's climbing up to the fucking TARDIS for the first time. Stairway. Music in the oh my god.
And Chibnall, that's how you fall. Okay? That's how you make a nice falling scene.
Well, I've never heard that one before.
Okay, so Viking Insane for 2 Canadian pesos said Manitoba, Canada is under heavy coof restrictions.
Yeah, most of our major cities are. I'm in a medium-sized city, so we still have freedom here for like today.
Freedom.
Freedom. Is it Phase Agito for $5 says, show me some big titties.
Rabbi's approval.
It's like Doctor Who and titties. That's basically what I do. Okay,
I'll call a couple of ex-girlfriends and see what they say. You know. Look, there's a guy here. He wants to have a look. Can I show him some pictures?
I tried, mate.
I tried,
the
mate. I
beauty-
tried. You know.
The beauty of regeneration is you could wait out a bad doctor run, but I can't do that if I can't trust the people behind the show, says JW.
That's it.
That's the situation we're all in.
Well, by the time they regenerate to the next doctor, there will be no show. So
No. And
Knock yourselves out.
trust is a very important thing. We need to trust our showrunners. We need to trust our creatives, and like that, the timeless children was broken trust. That's what.
Come back, Moffat. All is forgiven.
Honestly, I was out at Orphan 55. That was my breaking point. Everything after that, I just didn't care. It wasn't Doctor Who. Once the Doctor was it? Also, no, it was with the. Was it one of the? Was it Wet Willie? That the guy with the fingers in the ear.
Can you hear me? God, that was
Wet Willie.
yeah.
It was the thing with the pating thing.
So I wasn't kind of there yet. You know, Orphan 55 did kind of like, it was a low point for everybody, but I was still hoping every week because, you know, I wasn't optimistic. I always was. Now I just don't give a crap. It's gone. It's dead. It's done.
I gave the first episode a chance. I knew, I mean, but Arachnid's in the UK, dude. But when and believe it or not, it wasn't the space racist that fucking finally, it was the apologizing for the fucking spiders not acting the way they normally act.
Yeah.
That was like some PETA agency going, spiders don't, you're just gonna paint spiders in a bad light. Think about the spiders. And it's like, it's a fucking giant spider. They're gonna eat people and scare people.
And it's cruel to shoot them. It's cruel to shoot them, but it's kind to let them suffocate to death.
Yeah. You know, all the people that died and ended up down there. No, it was
too many things.
Don't put yourself through it, Gary.
All the things.
What you're just saying about the broken trust, that really does. When you think on that for a moment, they've absolutely done that. And by the timeless children, that because there was this sort of unwritten understanding that, you know, these people they're doing all this, and I don't like any of it, and I think they've got it all wrong, but they feel the same way that I do, that we do about this show. They couldn't. We just had this faith that they took their duty of care seriously, that they didn't know better than the generations of program makers before them. We thought they would maintain that and nurture it and not even let it get fractured. And then the timeless children, they just smashed it all on the floor to pieces
a minute
to go and create their own myth that was so much better and so much brighter and so much braver and the bestest ever and all the rest of it. And it just makes me want to fucking puke. Really
50 years of goodwill down the toilet. I mean, great writers like Terrence Dicks, Bob Holmes, all of these people, right? We've grown up with this. For generations have come and gone watching this show. Mostly they stayed around. Even my dad, who was there when William Hartnell was his doctor, was watching it. And he can't believe what's happening.
Spending time with you guys, it's made me realise that I haven't processed a lot of this yet.
That's true.
You know what, man? It's heartbreaking because, you know, what gets to me even more is not just the cold nature of the BBC, but it's these fans as well. They just don't have that emotional attachment that we do have, and they just either don't care or understand what we're going through.
Too young and too callow to relate.
Say that we're upset and heartbroken about this. It's only a TV show. Yeah,
it's something to virtue signal.
You're right. It is only a TV show, but when you've grown up with it this long, when you've loved this character for so long, when you've had a favorite doctor, go to the conventions, it's not just an emotional thing. You put everything into it. Of course, it's an emotional thing. We're not just gonna can't just switch off. It's impossible. And still, even today, I'll put on an episode, and I still think about what he's done. He's ruined everything. He's just, and for what? That's the thing that I don't understand. Why did they think this valuable thing? He did it for the most valuable Doctor Who to do it. I don't understand why using Doctor Who was the right move for them.
That's Piers Wanger, isn't it? He's the one who's pushing all the buttons. I guarantee, and I obviously can't prove it, but I guarantee he's a common purpose insert. No two ways about it.
Is he gay?
Oh yes,
probably.
Yes, he is gay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I disavow.
Daniel Rizlink for 200 Czechoslovakian pesos. In World War II, soldiers had to carry donkeys on the back because otherwise donkeys would set off every mine and kill the whole squad. Similarly, government will have to order you to wear masks since your brains are not up to the task. I don't know. All I know is soldiers in World War II died carrying around fucking donkeys, and we are worried about something that has a 99% survival rate. So, yes, we are all a bunch of pussies. That's the way I look at it. 200 Watt Studios for $2. I hear you on Perry, but what? No love for Zoe? As Zoe's?
Oh, that silver jumpsuit.
Yeah.
You know, you give me a choice.
What about Leela?
I'm just saying, you give me a choice. It's Perry. That's one.
I agree.
Leela.
It's not the Perry or Bonnie Langford. It's one of the two. You know.
And let's talk about like,
if there is any scissoring going on in the TARDIS, if there is any scissoring going on in the TARDIS, not Yaz and Jodie, let's do Perry and Zoe. That's the hashtag Perry and Zoe scissoring 2021.
What I don't understand is why they go on about the white male gaze. Now, I'm sorry. Are you saying that lesbians didn't exist in the 1970s? I mean, surely, like, Leela would have been some sort of icon to them as well.
Yeah.
Just saying, you know, like if you.
Problem being, I've actually seen some movies that do prove lesbians existed in the 1970s. Go check them out.
Perry. I don't know. Perry to me was the hottest.
It's Rabbi I've ever.
You reckon she was hottest?
I like Leela, but I like I don't know.
Oh, Leela was my
big Ramona. So
I'm actually a real rabbi. You should know that. That's not a joke.
hey, I am a real minister of the Unitarian or the life fucking. I can marry people. You sign up online. So if you're in the States, if you go, I did this 10 years ago. So it's like I can't remember what church it is. It's like some Unitarian.
I'm a Pope of the Church of Discordia, so I now announce everyone here to be a Pope of the Church of Discordia.
Cool. And I'm a member of FOOM. I'm a member of FOOM. Remember that?
Shield.
The Marvel.
Yes.
Marvel.
I've got
Friends of old Marvel.
Friends of old
Spaghetti
Marvel.
Monster, man.
That's the Church of Subgenius.
I was getting my Steranko one. It's got Hulk on it. It's in an envelope,
wow.
right? And he hit on my wife for 20 minutes. Shiny. How do I say this? Giratina says, "All right, gentlemen, I saw the new image of the Daleks. Looks like they went on a bloody diet. That I wouldn't be surprised if a what."
Never mind.
Well, I'm just it says don't think they finished the bird here. So I'm trying to interpret Shiny. So I don't know what it says at the end there. I'm just not even going to bother. I'm sorry, but it says something pierced their shells. If a something pierced their shells, like they're leaking or something. But yeah, I can't make heads or tails out of that word. Scottish Nerd for £2. Gary, but thank you for the super chat. Gary, it was when ads shared his video, bell in corner. You mean as far as the notification bell in the corner? Scottish Nerd?
Say something like when Az put up a video earlier, got a notification.
He said what kind of a notification was that? Yeah, I'm still not understanding. Am I missing something, guys?
I have no idea.
Yeah. So the original super chat was, anyone curious as to what Az notification was for?
Yeah, he's trying to say when Az put up a video earlier, he got a notification, but when he went to check it, basically there's nothing there or something. So he's curious to know what the video was, if that's what the understanding of it is.
Oh, because that was an old video Az was sharing, so you wouldn't get a notification for it. Yeah, I don't know, but that's the last super chat. So you leave us pondering, nerd.
Unless because I had the thing at the front top, and it was just my general YouTube notifications, which will just basically be comments and shit like that on video.
Speaking of notifications,
what the hell? Come on,
salt and pepper shakers. Okay, nice.
Yeah. we'll just
There's a range here I can show you. There you go.
no. What I said. You can put it on the channel.
You can't take him nowhere.
Oh my
Can't
God.
take him nowhere. It's terrible.
New Dr. I think it's appropriate for it because that's where it belongs, right up the pooper. So we're going to wrap things up. We're going to go around the horn and let everybody plug their channels. If I missed a super chat, it will be made up on the super chat square up because I need to go. This went about an hour and a half longer than I intended it to. So, I still have tons of work to do. So there we go.
I blame the rabbi.
Dan, Facebook. Plug your channel.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for having me on there, Gary. I've really enjoyed myself catching up with all you lot. But yes, I'm Dan Hadley. I run the Spacebook, which is the best channel that you'd never heard of. Okay, there's lots and lots of Doctor Who content. Type 40 is our Doctor Who brand. So I run the Type 40 podcast for the Fandom Podcast Network, the free-speaking Doctor Who podcast, some great interviews, exclusives, reviews, all that. And over on my channel, the Spacebook, not only is there Star Trek and James Bond and Star Wars, but there's Type 40 itself and there's Type 40 Live. Every Tuesday afternoon, a 2-hour-ish live stream featuring some of these people. Sometimes lots of topics, news and events. Our very latest one the other day for Doctor Who Day, that ran for about 2.5 hours. That's over there now. Lots and lots of fun, a bit of news, and we even got some exclusive revelations there too. So go and find that. And yeah, while you're there, like and subscribe if you would. Thank you. Enjoy the festive special.
Enjoy the trailer tomorrow. Steve, your channel.
Thank you. My channel is The Rabbi from Another Planet. Please go there, like, share, and subscribe everything. Well, subscribe once. Go and all my videos. I do. I have a competition each week. The prize this week is Judge Dredd, The Complete Case Files. This is a very good volume.
Ooh, let me put that up again. Put that up again. Put it up again.
God, storyline, a bunch of zombies invade the world. The judges must unite with Johnny Alpha, and you get all the other stories as well. That's a prize every week. I have an Indiegogo coming up, which I'm begging you to sign up for the email list. I drop videos. I drop 1 or 2 videos a day, a couple of 2 or 3 live streams a week. A eclectic mix of dirty humor, genres, more dirty humor. A little bit of crazy religion. I do throw that in there as well, and more dirty humor. In one rabbinic bundle. So there you go. Come over to my channel, and I'll promise you a good time, baby. That's all I can say. My last pitch is I am a subscriber whore. That is true. I am a complete subscriber whore. I do anything to get subscribers, but I'm also a whore for my subscribers. So anything you guys want, I'm very cool.
The extra rabbinical terrestrial, I call him.
So thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me on. Sorry.
Plug
on you. Is it me? Is it my turn?
Yeah. It is.
Oh yeah. I have a channel called Rebecca Gold. It's there's a web series called Rebecca Gold on there. I have 2 feature films: The Bad Day, which is really good, you should check it out, and The Killing Zone, which is both one's a 10-year-old film and the other's a 20-year-old film. But I'm going to have new stuff on it soon, so just tune in. Write in Rebecca Gold into the YouTube thing, and you'll find it. I guarantee you'll have a good time watching stuff.
Go and check it out. It is freaking awesome. I love that movie.
Check it out. And we'll go to Problem Being. What would you like to plug?
Hello. Yes, I'd like to. Well, I've got my Temple of the Golden Asda on Twitter. So if you want to follow me, it's at the Golden Asda. It's my sort of myself, really, but I do allude to the fact that it's some sort of crazy religion to someone on this panel who is the Golden Asda. Smart, praise him. Asda, other than that, I do have a YouTube channel where I post up my CGI stuff. I'm going to add some more Doctor Who related CGI stuff on there. It's at Aldred Audio Visual. But I'd really like to plug Daniel Leach, his channel. So if Chris can put that in there. He's a great guy. He does some really good reviews of Beware's channel, where they're doing some new Doctor Who adventures, audio adventures, And of course, you can catch me on the TARDIS zone most times.
Excellent. And we'll go to Noel. Noel, what would you like to plug?
Great. Well, as Lee said, I'm Noel from the TARDIS Zone. Basically, we do some Doctor Who stuff. We break the odd bit of rumor and speculation as well, which causes a bit of uproar, of course. It's what else do? We do Mandalorian now. We're reviewing the Mandalorian, actually enjoying it. I have the latest episode that I'm just going to watch before I go to bed, so that'll be great. And we do have panels as well, and on Friday nights, actually, if you're in me chat, I do put a link to StreamYard in the chat, and I give people a chance in the chat to actually come on, in the chat to actually come on and have their say about stuff. Because, you know, we normally are on each other's channels and stuff like that. So I like to be a bit more interactive on my channel. So I try to bring on as many people as I can. So that's Friday nights, the TARDIS Zone talks.
And we do our watch-alongs as well.
And the watch-alongs the weekend as well. Yeah, New Who and Classic Who as well. So, yeah, plenty of fun. So subscribe to the TARDIS Zone. And Gary, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No problem, brother.
I've actually had a brilliant time, like we did the last time. You've put, I have a smile on my face now. Being great.
Good. That's the whole point, to vent. Balls Trek.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I am Bullstrek, and I came here to depress the ever-loving fuck out of you for the past 3 hours because that's what I do. Because I am optimism in a fucking pretty bow. So hello. I'd say follow me on the Twitter because they love me over there, but fuck that, go to Parler. I'd say subscribe to me on YouTube, but there's no fucking point because YouTube is just going to delete you anyway. So just follow me on Parler, get the notifications from there. It will be awesome. I've been away for a while. But I will be back either next weekend or the weekend after that with my friend Goat, who goes by the name of Professor Tinkles. We're going to have fun. And as I always say, my channel is full of nothing but optimism. We look at pretty rainbows and everything is just sunshine and fucking awesome. We love the world. We love everything. Gary, thank you for having me again. And everybody else, and sorry I was depressing, but that's my thing, or maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm just acting. Really, I am a woke bastard. You are all toxic white fucking bastards. I cancel you all. I've been acting all this time. I love the 13th Doctor, fucking best thing that ever came. Just the acting is outstanding. I'm like, and the writing, my God, the writing is incredible. So I now excommunicate myself from all of you. And that is where I shall leave it today. So hashtag cancel everyone, because that's what we do. We cancel people. So I'm now gonna go join the dark side. So I'm going to let the Goat take over my channel. So bye.
Az, what would you like to plug?
Besides
that,
Dalek butt plug. That's what I'd like to right up Perry's wrong. What are we plugging? This Thursday, Gary, myself, Doomcock, Critical Drinker. We're going to be doing the second part of the Rocky sextet. So we're going to do Rocky 4, 5, and 6 this Thursday. This Monday, I'm going to be 9 o'clock GMT time. I'm going to be doing some Pew Pew with Critical Drinker. We're going to be doing some Warzone. Tuesday to be decided. Wednesday, Robert Mayer Burnett. I'm over on his channel, and we're doing the final episode of The Prisoner Fallout. So that's going to wrap up the 17 episodes of the Prisoner run. Friday, of course, Friday Night Tights. So another busy busy.
When do you
busy,
find time to
busy week.
sleep, mate?
I
When do you find time to
don't.
sleep?
He doesn't
don't.
sleep. We got Kerry Smith on Friday night.
Looking at Tuesday for sleeping this week, mate.
Right, okay.
Faze Agito for $20 says, not only is it a parallel universe, Time Lord's not around to control, regaining energy fractured universes. Doc 14 got a hold of the American Master, forced regen to Sasha, and is using him to fix the Prime and Sideverse from dying. That sounds like way more work than they would ever put into it, and it's just not inaccessible enough. Now, if the American Doctor transitioned, not regenerated, transitioned, maybe we could have a conversation about this. And Shiny Giratina is gunshot round. Sorry, had a migraine earlier. Oh, so that was referring to your so a gunshot round. That's the word I was trying to figure out. To the Daleks. Okay, got. Thank you for clarifying. And we're gonna wrap things up. Friday Night Tights. Kerry Smith, she's coming back. She was so popular, we're gonna bring her back. And I guess we're all gonna react to the trailer tomorrow over the next.
Reacting like this.
Yep.
Don't make me laugh. The reactions tomorrow are going to be epic, man.
I'm going to vomit all over myself.
I'm just going to see what everybody else.
Yeah, you feel like you're going to enjoy it.
Everybody
I know
else
people
says.
pay money for that.
I have to be honest. I'm looking forward to Az's review. Because
and Bolstrex.
He does one. It's absolutely blatant hilarious. You're brilliant, man. I have to be honest. Love your channel. Love what you do. Keep it up.
So we got here. We got. Thank you very much. And so thank God it's not on Christmas Day.
Oh yeah.
I was happy because we have Friday Night Tights that day. I don't want to that would be terrible.
You're doing a Christmas Day?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're doing a Christmas. No.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm streaming Christmas Day as well. I'm doing all the Doctor Who Christmas specials with other channels. We're doing a multi-channel Who Christmas special.
Christmas Day's meant to be a day off, guys. Day off. It's meant to relax.
Yeah, but we know people are going to be sitting at home bored, so we're going to do something that'll cheer them all up. So, Doctor Who fans, a lot of Doctor Who fans aren't watching the Christmas special, so they can come on multiple channels and they can watch some of the old ones with us. So,
I think more people will be watching live streaming any of that shit they put on terrestrial.
I'll be watching Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's on 25th. Wonder Woman.
We'll review it. It's going to be garbage, Ian. That's going to be a terrible movie. That's going to be.
It's going to be bad.
I'm a little worried about it. I must
Three
admit.
times and reshot twice.
Look, I had hopes for it, but when we heard all the stuff and I've seen the trailers, even the CGI on Cheetah, that's her name, very bad. I'm sorry, but it's awful looking. And
when
the
you do
parallels to Donald Trump are so obvious that it is. Look, I'm sorry. Look, it's supposed to entertain us, not fucking turn us off, make us puke in a bucket.
Yep.
I want to say to Az, when you do the reviews of the Rocky films, don't diss 5, right? Because I really liked 5. I don't understand why people didn't like it at all. I like 5.
Well, I don't hate 5. It's my least favorite, but
it's not good. I saw.
I liked the fight. The ending was amazing. I'm sorry.
Oh, was it? Oh my god!
Yes, it was.
It's really not Ian, but okay.
Ian, you and I probably saw it in theaters, right?
Yeah.
So I saw it in the theaters when it came out, and I was really high at the time, and I still do. So.
They remade Rocky 5 and they called it Rocky Balboa a few years later.
Right.
That's a much better film. I like that film.
Maybe Ian was confused.
I was.
Thanks to all the mob who were out there and did your job just great. I appreciate you all. Thanks to everyone who left the super chat. Again, if I missed one, there will be a super chat square up that is recorded separately. It is given proper time and it goes to Nerdrotic Live. And thanks everyone who spent your valuable time watching us for any amount of time, because that is appreciated. We're only on this world once, supposedly. So we need to try to enjoy it as much as we can, and even if it's shitting on Doctor Who a little bit.
And from all of us on the panel, we would really like to thank you as well, Gary. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Echoed here. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys coming on at the last minute, and we'll do another one. Oh, we will. we need to after the festival.
What? Yeah, because it's not going to be fixed
Let's give 'em a
anytime
good
soon.
idea.
Oh no, I think things are going to actually.
No. Oh, when we come back,
Go
we'll
real
probably
quick.
be on even devastated more. And
I think they're going to. No, I think they're going to fuck it up some more. I think that, like, I thought this special would
Yeah,
be
they're
a
not
separate
done yet.
thing that wouldn't mess with canon. Now
Yeah.
I completely fuck it up some more. So on that note, ciao everyone.
Bye.